well as David Clary, our executive producer tonight. Eli, one thing to point out, one of Coach Gaddis' opponents obviously is Bearden tonight. 5-0 against Bearden all time is Coach Gaddis.
Hey, I mean, that's a pretty good streak right there, and let's hope he keeps it up tonight.
We got 6:03 left in the first quarter here. Bearden looks like they are out in punt formation. They used a timeout. I believe they had 10 men on the field trying to get that 11th guy in.
Yeah, I mean, you never want to play with 10 men on the field. Give yourself an unfield advantage.
Wildcats in a little bit of a punt-safe defense there. Nearly get a block. Nice punt. Pretty far deep. Brandon Hayward back to receive. He takes that at the 5. Gets a good block there, but not much further than the 11-yard line. Nice block by Justin Crowley.
Oh, yeah. One thing I'm pretty impressed with from what I've seen from Bearden right now, they are some sure tacklers. They don't give up many tackles right now.
And they're in good position as well. And Wildcats offense is going to take over here at the 11-yard line. So backed up deep. Their biggest play tonight for the Wildcats is the punt that they faked. So looking to get going a little bit more here.
Yeah, we got to maybe put together a little drive here, eat some yardage up, get some first downs, and run some clock a little bit here.
Wildcats come out down by 7, 5:53 left in the first quarter. Looks like we have Osborne in maybe. No, that is Kendall Jackson in as a receiver, kind of a tight end area. 3 receivers to the right. Tarwater under center, hands off to Hundley. Hundley breaks free into the open, makes a man miss out to the 25-yard line. Really nice run there by Ja Hundley. Gets out, I believe, to the 28-yard line. And that's just what you needed right there, what you said, Eli, running the clock.
That's it right there. That's how you start a drive, get a big chunk right there. There was a blitzing linebacker going, and I saw him, I was like, oh, man, he's going to get him. But then right at the last second, a lineman came out and got just enough a piece of him for Kendall to keep going.
1st and 10 for the Wildcats. That is a 10 Bank of Oak Ridge first down. 5:30 left in the first quarter. 2 running backs in the backfield. Tarwater hands off to Hundley once again. Hundley on the edge. Slips one guy out to the 35-yard line before he's spun down. Ja Hundley bearing the load for the Wildcats tonight.
Now we're starting to get a little bit of room. Now we're starting to get a little bit into groove. So let's hope we keep it going right here.
Wildcats now in 2nd and about 2. So playbook wide open here.
Whatever they want to run. You can do a little bit of passing, a little bit of running, whatever you need.
Hand off to Hundley, goes once again, maybe up to the first down mark. It's going to be close. I'm going to say it's probably going to be 3rd and short.
Yeah, he got just a little bit there. Unfortunately, there were a few Bearden Bulldogs there just waiting on him.
Bearden leads 7-0 over Oak Ridge, but they do give them another 10 Bank of Oak Ridge first down. So the Wildcats moving the football well, now out to the 38-yard line with 4:40 left in the first quarter here. Once again, 2 running backs in the backfield. Kendall Jackson deep. Next to Hundley, next to Tarwater on his right. 2 receivers to the right. Tarwater takes the snap, hands off to Jackson. Jackson with a little bit of room, but is swelled up in the backfield there. And it looks like they're fighting over where the football might be. I think Jackson maybe lost about 2 there for the Wildcats.
Yeah, that was a simple zone left play. Unfortunately, Kendall tried to go right to try to get that flow going away from him, but the Bearden Bulldogs had somebody waiting on him, and unfortunately couldn't make anything happen. DeJavis
Dozier, the sophomore, coming in at running back, getting some fresh legs in there, as well as number 11, Xavier James. 2nd and what looks about 12 for the Wildcats. 3:54 left in the first quarter. 7-0 Bearden. Tarwater takes the snap. Good protection set there. Has a middle screen to Dozier. Dozier has a little bit of speed. Cuts inside. Gets up to about the 40. Eli, I think he maybe should have gone outside there because he had daylight.
He did. I mean, he had 2 directions he could go, and unfortunately went back inside, and the guy was able to make a short tackle on him.
Dozier, very powerful runner for the Wildcats. We saw that last week. In for the Wildcats at receiver, Jakyron Pendergrass, as well as, I believe, Price Davis, and down here is Jaden Williams. So the Wildcats getting some subs in. Tarwater takes the snap on 3rd down. 3rd and long, elects to run, gets upfield, picks up the first down, over across midfield for a 10 Bank of Oak Ridge first down.
Beautiful right there, James. The Bearden Bulldogs, they blitzed just about everybody right up the middle, but for good enough for the Oak Ridge, they were able to find a little crease right there.
Oak Ridge going fast with 3 minutes on the clock. 1st and 10, and they draw the Bulldogs offside.
That's it, man. We got them on their heels a little bit. Let's keep it going.
3 first downs on the drive. Now you're in 1st and 5. So the Wildcats getting up to the line, getting set, getting ready, getting a few subs in there too, which is pretty impressive. So great job, great drive here for the Wildcats.
Hey, that's a little bit like maybe Peyton Manning or something after a big play, hustle to the line, see if you can catch him sleeping.
Is that your brother, Peyton Manning?
Oh yeah, that's my brother.
Tarwater, 2 receivers each side. 1st and 5, takes the snap, looks to his right. Once again, scrambles out, looks back, keeps his eyes downfield. Nice job there. Actually picks up another block from his lineman, number 72 for the Wildcats, but loses 3 yards. So going to be 2nd and 8 for the Wildcats.
Unfortunately, that was just a little bit of a coverage sack. Couldn't find anybody open. He scrambled, tried to make something happen, but there just wasn't anything out there.
I'm sorry, 2nd and 9 for the Wildcats. As they have 2 receivers each side, 2:20 left on the clock. Handoff there goes to Dozier. Dozier has some room, but is tackled very quickly by the middle linebacker, number 1 for them, Arana, and it's going to be 3rd and what looks about 8 or 7.
Man, that is, I tell you, they are some sure tacklers. You are not breaking any tackles tonight. He looked like if he could have just made just a little bit, he would have gotten out on there, but nah, number 3 just brought him down like it was nothing.
Keeping this drive alive is key for the Wildcats. The longer you can keep the Bulldog offense or defense out there and the offense on the sideline, the better it could be for the Wildcats. Hundley back in for the Wildcats. 3 receivers to Tarwater's left, 1 to the right, 1:40 left on the clock. Tarwater takes the snap, looks to Hayward's side, catches the screen, and gets up maybe about 5 yards. But he will be short of the first down.
A quick little screen there, and again, the middle linebacker is timing that snap. They're going to have to do something, go on a different kind of count or something, but he flew right through the middle. Nobody was able to pick him up.
Wildcats going quick. They're going to go for it on 4th and 4 with 1:15. A little bit of a freeze count there, trying to check and see what they want to do. The Wildcats have plenty of time on the play clock. Tarwater back is going to take the snap, fakes it once again. Wildcats check. 1 minute left in the first quarter. Bearden 7, Oak Ridge nothing currently. And I believe the Wildcats are resigned to just basically call a timeout here with about 1 second left on the play clock. And they actually, what looks like, take the penalty. Not a bad move there by the Wildcats.
No, you give your punter a little bit more room to see if you can pin them deep. So, again, not a bad little move there.
Not a bad move, as gives your punter a little bit more room. Very quick first quarter here for the Wildcats with 48 seconds left.
Yeah, I mean, Bearden hit quick, and then, we're hurrying to the line. Sorry, I can't talk right now. And it just feels like we're going at an incredible pace right now. It's crazy.
Very quick pace for the Wildcats, as your punters, once again, are going to be Brian Kelly, number 33, who has some speed, and Jacob Bearden, as we've already seen his speed. So probably not going to catch Bearden by surprise this time. Bearden catches the snap, gets a quick kick away, kind of end over end, but gets a great roll, is going all the way down to the Bearden 14. Might have been able to get a few more yards there.
Yeah, that's a little precarious there. I don't know why he didn't let it just keep rolling. I think it had at least 3 more yards in it there.
Possibly so. Bearden offense getting ready to come back out. Oak Ridge defense. Why don't we set that defense for the Wildcats once again? I believe I see Hewitt out there for the Wildcats, number 17, Jaden Williams, Brandon Hayward, obviously, Peyton Sharp, Kendall Jackson, Justin Crowley. And Bearden has it with 1st and 10, 39 seconds left in the first quarter, as they elect to hand off there. Nice tackle met in the backfield by Peyton Sharp, not able to finish it off, but credit, I believe that is Brian Kelly with the tackle there.
Again, Peyton Sharp was able to slow him down just enough for another Wildcat to come up there and finish it off.
It looks like Bearden might be okay with taking this to the second quarter, as they are at the line of scrimmage. 18 seconds left in the first quarter here for the Wildcats. 7-0, the Bearden lead, as Bearden's not really making any motion to get to the line of scrimmage real quick. And with 5 seconds left on the clock, I'm going to go ahead and call that quarter for us, Eli, as Wildcats trail 7-0 over the Bearden Bulldogs heading to the second quarter. We will be back after this 1 minute timeout. James Branson joined by Eli Manning here back at Blankenship Field. Bearden leading 7-0 as they come back out on offense. Ball on the Bearden 14-yard line. Bearden takes the snap, rolls around to his left, fires deep once again, picked off, nearly picked off. Justin Crowley nearly made an athletic play there right at midfield.
Yeah, I mean, it was one-on-one coverage. Crowley was able to jump up over the guy and almost made the interception. That would have been a heck of a play, but again, we stopped him on second down, brings up third.
And the Wildcats seem to have had the ball on offense more than Bearden so far tonight, which is pretty impressive considering the score. I mean, it's just that one play.
That's all they had, is just that one play. We've been able to shut them down ever since then.
Bearden once again, 2 receivers to the left. Looks like 1 to the right. I believe they have a tight end or a little H-back in there to the quarterback's left side as well. So it's going to be 3rd and 10, 1:53 left in the second quarter. Quarterback drops back deep, has a little running lane, comes up, keeps his eyes downfield, and it's going to be incomplete as nice coverage there by Brandon Hayward at about the 35, 36-yard line.
Yeah, the defensive line did a good job of making that quarterback move a little bit out of the pocket, and then great coverage just all over him, was able to not come up with anything.
What was pretty impressive about that, too, is Brandon was kind of behind the receiver, so able to reach around without interfering there. So Bearden, I guess this is now 3rd down. I guess it should be 4th down because they ran a play to start to end the first quarter. I believe Coach Gaddis was talking to.
There was a penalty. And we declined it.
Oh, I gotcha. So Coach Gaddis was talking to the referee. There was a penalty. Wildcats declined it, and it looks like it's going to be 4th down. But Bearden's offense is still on the field, and it looks like Bearden is going to take
line change.
Timeout, I guess, or not. I heard a whistle blow, so that's why I'm saying that. Either way, 11:46 on the clock. There is no timeout, so Bearden is going to be punting from their own end zone or right at their own end zone. Deep for the Wildcats, Brandon Hayward. Snap is good. Punt is away. Not in too much pressure being blocked. Hayward is able to field it on one bounce. Gets upfield at midfield and is not able to slip 2 or 3 tackles. Gets away from the first, but good field position for the Wildcats.
Oh, yeah, you're starting at the 50-yard line. You got half the field to go. That puts the offense in a good position to hopefully tie this up here.
Wildcats down by a touchdown, 11:34 left in the first quarter. Where do you think you go here offensively? You talked about running the ball. What do you think you come out with next?
Well, I mean, honestly, we haven't had much success with running the ball, and so I maybe take a little bit of a shot here. You know, you got some plays to play with here.
Haven't taken, I think we threw the ball deep one time. It was incomplete. So Tarwater has a pretty good arm. 1st and 10 for the Wildcats, right at midfield. Hand off to Kendall Jackson. Kendall barrels forward, gets about 6, I believe. So it's going to put the Wildcats in 2nd and 4.
Man, I tell you, Kendall hits that hole so quick. If you give him just enough space, he's going to get 6 yards before you even know where he is.
2nd and 4 for the Wildcats. 11:15 left in the second quarter. Handoff once again to Jackson. Jackson makes a man miss in the backfield. Gets upfield for about 3, maybe at the first down marker.
Yeah, I think he got it again. That was, unfortunately, he couldn't hit the hole on that one, but he was able to keep people off him just enough to get right at the first down marker.
Looks like it's going to be about 3rd and half a yard for the Wildcats as they make some subs here. So 10:50 left in the first half. Kendall Jackson coming back out on the field. Ja Hunley, Bryce Davis, Brandon Hayward are your receivers, along with Cam Barnett. Hayden Tarwater. Looks like he's going under center I formation for the Wildcats.
Ooh.
Hadn't seen that in a while.
Kicking it old school.
Tarwater hands off to Jackson, makes a man miss, gets his first down, maybe a yard or 2 more, but that's all you need to keep the drive alive.
That's all you need. Just line them, go straight ahead. You got a fullback coming right at you. Get that yardage. I love it.
10:28 left in the first quarter, and that's a 10 bank of Oak Ridge first down. Several of those for the Wildcats on the previous couple of drives. As Wildcats again making more subs. Kendall Jackson keeps coming to the sideline and being sent back in.
I'm gonna be honest with you. He looks a little tired. I don't know if he's ready for a full game right now.
A little gassed, but there are 2 running backs in the backfield. Kendall Jackson deep. No, now he motions next to Hayden Tarwater along with Hunley. Tarwater hands off to Hunley. Met in the backfield by about 3 Bearden guys, and I still think he gets about a yard.
He still got a yard. Unfortunately, like I said, Kendall's looking a little tired. He was supposed to block a guy there, and the guy just kind of ran right by him. So still able to get a yard, though.
And I believe the Wildcats want to kind of power it down Bearden. Maybe they're setting something up off play action.
You would hope so. Maybe take a shot here. But again, we've been running all right on this drive. Let's see if we can keep it going a little bit.
Looks like the Wildcats take a timeout here. And to keep it, we'll keep it here as we have 9:32 left in the first quarter. Wildcats driving. Got a first down. It looked like DeJavis Dozier was going to come in along with Hunley in the backfield. So a little bit, very powerful backfield for the Wildcats.
Oh, yeah, you got 2 great backs right there, able to make something happen. But, again, don't forget, you got some great wide receivers. Get them a little bit of space, make something happen there, and that'll help give the running backs a little bit more room.
A lot of speed for the wide receivers. I think Cam Barnett had a great game. I think maybe only caught 2 or 3 passes last week. But what was so impressive about him is they were screen passes in basically press coverage and made about 4 or 5 guys miss.
I mean, when you got a guy like that who's able to make people miss, you got to get him the ball. So, I mean, hopefully we can start spreading the love a little bit here.
Now, I will say the Bearden defense doesn't seem to be getting as much in the backfield as they were, maybe stalemating at the line, but the Wildcat offensive line doing a little bit better job here in the second quarter.
Yeah, and I think maybe we got a little bit off kilter with that first play, so now we're starting to settle in a little bit.
A little bit of a close formation here, two running backs in the backfield. Wildcats motion in, I believe that is Davis. Handoff to Hunley, reverses it back to Hayward. Flea flicker over to Hunley, and it is incomplete. Tarwater with the flea flicker there. Pretty cool design play there.
Man, you got the double reverse pitch to the court QB pass. I mean, that's some trickeration. Unfortunately, the free safety, he stayed at home, and he was able to kind of eyeball it there.
I'm not sure if that was Tummins or if that was Clough there for the Bulldogs, but really nice play defensively. Would have loved to have seen that completed. It was a pretty good ball there by Tarwater. Maybe just a little bit more toward the sideline. 9:24 left in the first half here. Wildcats in 3rd and 10. And down by a touchdown, needing to pick up some yards here for sure. Tarwater in the backfield, takes a snap. And there's going to be a penalty on the play, probably either offsides or false start.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's not what you want right here because that's backing you up. I mean, you got to get yardage, and that's the wrong way to be going. Oh, hey, that's a good thing. Never mind, it's on them.
Offsides, that's going to put us in about a 3rd and maybe 4, maybe long 4. So a pretty manageable situation for the Wildcats.
Oh, yeah, you get a few more options from your playbook here. You can maybe get a little dump pass, you can go a little pass, or even just get a little nice little run in here.
3rd and 5, as it says on the scoreboard for the Wildcats. 9:24 left in the first half. On that last play before it was stopped, I believe he had Javis Dozier out there with not many people leaking out of the backfield, so that would have been nice to see. Tarwater, 2 receivers each side, takes the snap, looks to his left, then goes back to his right. Hayward's out to his right. Hayward gets upfield, keeps his legs turning near the first down marker. And if so, it'll be a 10 Bank of Oak Ridge first down.
That was a good way to get it out there. Again, they were sending everybody like they like to do, and Tarwater was able to get it out to Brandon. Brandon got it real close to them yardage sticks right there.
Justin Crowley coming off the field. Ja Hunley coming back on the field. Wildcats just under 9 minutes left in the first half, trailing 7-0. It is going to be 4th and short for the Wildcats, and they look like they're going to go for it once again. Tarwater, I formation. Going to go under center here. Tarwater checks. Now back under center. Checks once more. Sneaks it across the line for a first down for the Wildcats. That is a 10 Bank of Oak Ridge first down.
I like it. You think with the I formation, they're going to come back and, have that fullback, but Tarwater just did it himself, and that's all they needed.
And the Wildcats have gotten Bearden to jump once already tonight by getting to the line quickly. So not a bad call, kind of faking a count there.
Oh, yeah. When you can mix it up like that and keep the defense guessing, you're able to start playing with them a little bit.
1st and 10 for the Wildcats, 8:20 left in the first half. Tarwater, 2 running backs to his backfield, both flare out. Hunley not looking on his route there, so Tarwater, I believe, had to throw it, feeling a little bit of pressure, and he's a little frustrated there.
Yeah, I mean, I think Hunley was trying to go down the field a little bit on a little out route, but he threw it early, and Hunley never saw it.
I will give Tarwater credit there. It was a strike. It was just a strike to right into the numbers in the back.
Yeah, right in the back of it there.
It's going to be 2nd and 10 for the Wildcats. 8:07 left in the second quarter, excuse me. Wildcats driving, picking up 2 first downs already. 2 running backs in the backfield once again. Tarwater hands off to Jackson. Jackson trying to get wide, chased by 3 or 4 Bulldogs. Met in the backfield about 4 yards deep. Never got near the line of scrimmage.
I mean, by the time Jackson had the handoff, there were about 4 people just following him. He had no chance whatsoever.
One thing that the Wildcats might be setting up off that is, faking Jackson out the backside, maybe running almost like a little triple option.
Yeah, I mean, you can fake that because they float real hard on that. They're looking for Jackson.
Or they don't really respond to anything else coming out of the backfield so far. So it'll be interesting if the Wildcats offense runs anything like that, maybe setting that up later in the game. Going to be 3rd and about 12 for the Wildcats. 7:20 left in the first half. Bearden ahead, 7-0. Tarwater flanked by a running back on each side, and the Wildcats will elect to use a timeout, as I believe the play clock was running down. I believe we'll go ahead and take that timeout with them. The Wildcats trailing 7-0 to the Bearden Bulldogs. 7:14. We'll be back after this 60-second timeout. Make sure you've got your mic on. James Branson joined here by Eli Manning as well as Mark and Shauna Hayes. We appreciate them. You're listening to Wildcat Football on FM 92.7, prepradio.com, Oak Ridge Schools Channel 15. Tarwater back deep, swings it out wide to Hayward. Hayward makes a man move, gets up close to the first down for probably going to be about 4th and 1 for the Wildcats.
Oh, yeah, good play call right there. The offensive line did a great job of giving Tarwater enough time to set up and throw, and he delivered a perfect out pass to Hayward right there, and Hayward was able to get most of the yardage he needed.
There was a linebacker covering underneath, so he had to sling it out there real quick, like you said. The Wildcats look like they're maybe going for it once again on 4th down, 4th and about 3 or 2.
Hey, I mean, you got 2 yards, might as well. You know, you're moving the ball on them.
4th and 2, 6:30 left in the first half. Tarwater flanked by one running back. Bulldogs nearly jump off sides. No flags come in. And it looks like the Wildcats are going to take another timeout as the play clock was running down. I think Tarwater maybe wanted to get a few more looks at that, but I'm not sure if they had trouble getting the play in there.
I don't know. I mean, Tarwater, that was a heck of a clap he did on there. He almost got him, but he was able to reset himself.
Defensive tackle there is the one that I saw that nearly jumped off sides. As, Wildcats have a pretty good kicker, Efren Rodriguez, as well as Brennan Pearson, the kickoffs for the Wildcats last week. Do you take the 3 maybe here?
I mean, your defense is stepping up now, and so at this point, you can't really go wrong. If you don't get the first down, then yeah, you probably should have taken the 3 points. But again, you're moving it, and 2 yards right now is pretty manageable for the offense.
And one thing to keep in mind is the Wildcat offense has been on the field for a while. And I think Bearden's only had 3 possessions and maybe 4 or 5 minutes of possession time.
Oh yeah, we've been controlling it pretty well. Unfortunately, we don't have any points to show for it, so hopefully we can do something here.
Wildcat offense back out on the field. 4th and 2, 6:24 left in the first half. Tarwater, one running back deep. Tarwater under center. He's going to fake the count once again, takes the snap, hands it off to Dozier, going up the middle, gets across the 20. Bearden defense is waving it off, so it looks like, as from where we're sitting, it will be a turnover on downs, and it is.
Unfortunately, the defensive line there, they didn't get pushed back, and then they caused a pile. And so you just had a bunch of bodies on the ground, and Dozier wasn't able to get around it, and he had to eat it.
Wildcat defense back on the field here, playing pretty well, minus the first play. And Bearden leading 7-0. Going to have the ball right at the 20-yard line, so Bearden is backed up to start their drive, going toward Jackson Square. 3 receivers to the right, hands off, does the quarterback. Stacked up in the backfield, though. Wildcats did a great job on that play.
Yes, sir. I think it was the defensive tackles there. They were able to stand Bearden's line up and push them back, so their running back had nowhere to go.
As it will be 2nd and 11 for Bearden. 6 minutes left in the first half here, as they still have 2 receivers to the right, 1 tight end also to the right, so technically 3 receivers, 1 receiver to the left. Bearden's quarterback takes the snap, pretty decent snap, hands off once again, and the defense for the Wildcats is flowing to the ball in the second quarter.
Boy, that's big Ethan Hewitt right there. He was the one who pushed him back on the last play. He just destroyed his man, pushed him about 3 yards back, and then he made the tackle there for a loss.
3rd and about 11, I guess they said he got back to the line of scrimmage somehow.
Oh, man, that was some power right there. He just bulldozed him back there.
5:15 left in the first quarter. Bearden's is backed up. Oak Ridge defense playing pretty well. 3 receivers to the left for Bearden, 1 to the right. Quarterback rolls to his left, looking downfield. Might scramble, chased out of bounds there by the Wildcats. Going to be hit by Bearden, and the Wildcats are going to be flagged for a late hit. That's an iffy call right there.
I mean, like you said, James, he was right at the sideline, and so as a player, you're trying to pull up, and unfortunately, he hit him right as he was going out of bounds, and they called it. And again, we had him stopped, but now they get a first down.
I believe he was leaning out of bounds.
Yeah,
it was a long lean. It's hard to tell a defensive player to slow up in those scenarios because you're pursuing so hard.
I mean, he got him to the sideline. Unfortunately, you want him to, kind of push him, but he laid that shoulder trying to stop, and it just took him out.
It's going to be 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs, out near the 40-yard line, I believe at the 38-yard line for the Wildcats, as Bearden once again comes out, basically 2 receivers each side. Bearden hands off once again right up the middle. and gets a first down across midfield over to about the 42-yard line. Does Bearden go?
It looked like the defensive line was stacked over to Oak Ridge's right side, but unfortunately Bearden was able to wall them down, and it left a nice hole right up the middle, and that guy went straight ahead.
4:40 left in the first half here. Bearden driving. Number 5 for the Bulldogs as Parrott is in, and he is toting the load for them right now. 2 receivers each side. 1st and 10. Bearden takes the snap. Quarterback keeps going around in. Nice job there by Grayson Hope to stack him up and finish him off by a host of Wildcats.
I like it right there. I like it. He thought he could get outside, but no, sir, not tonight.
On the tackle there, I believe stacking up was Peyton Sharp along with Justin Crowley. A flag did come in. Looks like it's thrown in the area of holding. If so, that's good for the Wildcats because that backs Bearden back up off to the other side of the 50-yard line.
Yeah, that's good, and I want to piggyback off of what you said on that last play. Grayson Hope, he did a great job of standing up his wide receiver and not getting pushed out, and he was able to, stop the QB and let the rest of the defense pick him up.
It is going to be 1st and 20 for the Bulldogs. 4:23 left in the first half. Wildcat defense trying to get set. 2 receivers each side with a H-back in the backfield. Bearden takes the snap, handoff right up the center. Boom! Big stick there by Brian Kelly, I believe. That was Jacob Bearden. Met the running back in the hole.
Hey, has he been playing WWE a little bit? Because he's trying to slam him. Dang, son.
Nice play there by the Burv man, setting up a 3rd and about 17 for the Bulldogs. Wildcats have to capitalize on this right now. 3:40 left in the first half. Bearden set to take the snap. Does. Quarterback fakes the handoff, comes out of the backfield, pursued there, and incomplete. Gonna be a 3rd and long. Brian Kelly on the coverage and pursuit, as well as Hope and Peyton Sharp.
Hey, there was good pressure on the QB right there. He tried to float it out to that running back, and even if he had made the catch, we had a guy waiting on him, so good play by the defense right there.
I did have to give David Clary credit on that. I had to borrow his line. I didn't get to use the line a moment ago on the hit by Bearden out of bounds, but nice hit there. Wildcats, 3rd, and defense has it 3rd and 17 once again. 3:32 left in the first half. Bearden, 3 receivers with a H-back set. Now motions the running back over. Takes the snap, fakes, passes, across the middle, incomplete. Brandon Hayward there on the coverage, and I think Hayward could have had an interception.
He could have. He was right there where he needed to be. If the guy had made the catch, I still think Brandon was going to lay him out anyways, and he was going to come up short.
In that scenario, you tell your safety to either take the man or take the ball. And I think Brandon was a little split between both, and you're right, he could have laid him out. Hayward back deep, Bearden on to punt, 4th and 17 just across the 50-yard line. 3:28 left, plenty of time for the Wildcats who have a timeout.
Oh, yeah.
And if they can get a good return or drive here. Bearden, no pressure on the punt, gets it away. Hayward able to catch it and gets tackled immediately. Now, here's the thing. They blew that dead as soon as Brandon Hayward caught it. So either that has to be a fair catch and interference, which that is not where the flag is because the flag is up at the 30-yard line. So it looks like there might be a hold, but I'm not sure why you blow it dead that quick.
I mean, they blew it real quick. Unfortunately, there's a penalty on here, and as you said, that's a holding that's usually on the wings out there. So
it will be the Wildcats taking over on offense. The question is, will it be from the 12-yard line or will it be from inside the 10? The referees seem to be pointing to the Wildcats, and it will be backed up. That is a block in the back, so it's half the distance to the goal. Still plenty of time. Still 3:20 on the clock. Wildcats 1st and 10.
Hey, offense has been moving it, as I said earlier. Unfortunately, we don't have any points to show for it, but just like you said, James, we got plenty of time. We can make something happen here.
And it kind of makes you wonder, should we have gone for that field goal maybe when we were down there just inside the 20.
Hey, hindsight's 20/20, ain't it?
It is. That is very true, especially since the Wildcats on that drive were moving it pretty well. Tarwater comes back out. Kendall Jackson to his left. 2 receivers stacked on each side. Tarwater takes the snap inside his 5. Jackson makes a guy miss. Cuts out to the 15. Out to the 20. Nice run. Shifty move by Kendall Jackson right up the middle.
Hey, when you got a healthy and a rested Kendall Jackson, he is hard to break down, and he hits that hole so quick.
That is a 10 Bank of Oak Ridge first down. Wildcats coming back out quick, hurrying to the line of scrimmage. Tarwater, same formation. Keeps it here. Thinks about throwing a screen pass. Throws it at the feet of his receiver to avoid a sack. So not a bad job there by Tarwater. Smart move.
Not at all. They try to. He was reading the outside there, so he faked it to Kendall. Tried to get it out there, but they had nice tight coverage on it. So not a bad play throwing it at the feet.
They did have a block set up, so it was there. It was just, not well enough to feel confident about the play.
Yeah, so let's see if they can get something going here now.
2nd and 10 for the Wildcats. 3 minutes, down by 7. They are driving away from Jackson Square toward the north end zone. Kendall on Tarwater's left. Tarwater takes the snap, feeling pressure. Goes out to his right and goes down in the backfield. Sacked there by Bearden. I believe that is number 17 for them. That is going to be a 3rd and long, probably about 17 for the Wildcats.
Unfortunately, that's one of the last things you want to happen. I think that's your left guard there, number 58. He just couldn't hold the defensive end there, and the defensive end beat him and got in the Tarwater and brought him down.
That is Nico Young for the Bulldogs on the tackle. Wildcats, 2:28 left in the first quarter. Tarwater, same formation. Kendall to his left. Stacked receivers. Hands off to Kendall Jackson. Kendall Jackson running laterally. Gets upfield, though. Slips a tackle out to the 24-yard line. He goes to give the Wildcats a 4th and 9.
Yeah, I mean, heads-up play by Kendall there. It looked like he was going to get brought down at the line, but he was able to make a guy miss to get back a little bit past the line of scrimmage. But unfortunately, that sack put us in such a bad position that it just wasn't enough.
Going to be the Wildcats under 2 minutes coming out to punt. 1:50 on the clock, down by 7. Again, a threat to run here is either Kelly or Bearden with a lot of speed, as they have both of them back there to punt.
Hey, James, you point out, you make a good point right there. I mean, you don't want to really go down with how good your offense is playing. You don't want to go down at half, down 7. And so, again, maybe
the Wildcats are late getting a man on the field, and it looks like the play clock hit 0, and so it will be a delay of game for the Wildcats. Got to be mentally aware of who's coming on the field for subs.
Hey, it's these mistakes that start killing you. It stops any type of momentum you might have.
Back to deep are Kelly and Bearden for the Wildcats. Kelly takes this one, rolls to his left. He's a left-footed kicker, gets it out, stays in bounds, it looked like, but it goes out. Let's hope they give him the 47. They don't. It's going to be the 44-yard line on the Jackson Square side. So 1:25 for the Bulldogs, taking over here in a short field.
Hey, I mean, not a great position for the defense. Don't be surprised if Bearden tries to take a shot to, try to go up a little bit more at half.
You're absolutely right. They took a shot to start the game. I would be very aware, maybe playing some backed off coverage here. It's going to be 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs in the Oak Ridge 44 with 1:24 left in the first half. Up by 7 are the Bulldogs. Bearden, 2 receivers each side. Quarterback drops. He has plenty of time. Gets it out quick, and that's going to be incomplete. Dropped there by number 16 for the Bulldogs. Ford not able to come up with it.
He was hearing feet there, James. He got a little happy there. Dropped it.
Looked like he had it, kind of bobbled it, and then it hit the ground.
I mean, there's no excuse. You're a wide receiver. You got to catch those things, but DB's coming up on him.
That's absolutely right. Wildcats stops the clock there. 1:20 left in the first half. Wildcat defense needing a big stop. 2nd and 10. Bearden takes the snap. A little bit of an option here. Wildcats played it well and stacked it up at the line of scrimmage. I believe that is number 1. Arana not going anywhere on that play.
I like it. The quarterback right there, he saw the Wildcat defense waiting on him. He tried to get rid of that ball as fast as he could, and luckily there were people waiting on the running back.
Number 5, Parrott, did not want any part of the Wildcat defense, would rather his running back take the brunt of the load there.
Right. Right now it looks like they're just going to waste time and not, unless they just try to get a little happy here and try and take a shot, I think they're going to run it out.
40 seconds left on the clock for the Bulldogs. 10 seconds on the play clock. Bearden not quite set. Now they are. 5 seconds on the play clock. Bearden takes the snap, hands it off. And I believe that's Arana overing a Wildcat there at the 38-yard line. 24 seconds on the clock. Bearden looks like they are okay with taking it to the half here.
Hey, that running back just lowered his shoulder, and unfortunately our linebacker, his feet weren't moving. He just kind of took it there. But, again, we stopped him short.
Granted, exactly what you said. They stopped him short, forced a fourth down, and Bearden's going to take a timeout here with 2 seconds left on the clock. And not a bad move because it leaves you with one play.
Maybe take a shot. So, the way they acted, I don't know. I'm a little surprised by that, James. But like you said, maybe just throw it up there, hope for the best, see if somebody either get the touchdown or maybe get a penalty and run one last play there.
Maybe a tip, maybe a deflection. Obviously, with the ball at the 38-yard line for Bearden, too far away to take a field goal. I don't believe Bearden has a good enough kicker for that. No. But that would have to be close to about a 56-yard field goal. So it's pretty far out there.
After last week's performance, I don't know how many people expected Bearden to come in here and be up on the Wildcats. So they're going to try and keep that momentum going into the half.
You're absolutely right. What was the score last week for Bearden? Bearden had 2. Wes, was it 24?
24-2 last week.
24-2. The Wildcats break their defensive huddle. Obviously, Coach Miner has instructed them about preventing anything deep. I would not be surprised if the Wildcats put several people maybe at the goal line, about the 5-yard line. Bearden comes out with their quarterback. 3 receivers close, bunched up to the right, 2 bunched up to the left. So empty backfield here as the quarterback will drop deep. Now, it looks like he might be sacked. Ball comes out for the Wildcats, and they get on it. Nice job there, as what I was about to say for the Wildcats. When you put 5 receivers out, you have limited protection for your quarterback.
And that's the one thing you hope doesn't happen as an offense, is you let just a few of the defensive linemen get back there and give the Wildcats credit. That defensive line just ate that pocket alive and got right to him.
Nice play there to finish off the half for the Wildcats. Down 7-0 over the Bulldogs. We will take a break, and we will be back in, I'm trying to find my notes here. Sorry for the delay. Looks like that we will be back after an 8-minute timeout. That will give Mark and Shauna allow them enough time to do the stats. We will also have that at halftime. Might be able to speak to the wild man, Mike Sheehan. Anytime you get him in the house, it's a good night.
Oh, it's a good day, baby.
And we will obviously like to thank some of our sponsors, but you are listening to Wildcat Football here on FM 92.7, prepradio.com, and Oak Ridge Schools Channel 15. Oak Ridge trailing 7-0 at halftime. We'll be back in 8 minutes. James Branson, joined back here at Blankenship Field by Eli Manning, the Wild Man, Mike Sheehan, our executive producer, David Clary. Obviously, Mark and Shauna Haste are working on the stats. I would like to thank our camera personnel tonight. I haven't gotten them in so far, and Lee Wexler is doing our sideline camera, along with Neil Patel, Christian Rosas Rodriguez, Matthew Charles, and obviously Alex Waraxa up in the booth with us tonight. Mike, you told us not much of a scoring summary going on first play, and then not too much after that, but you got a few words of wisdom for us maybe.
Thank you, James. This is the Wild Man Mike Sheehan with one of the shortest scoring summaries I've had in a long time. With 13 seconds into the first quarter, they threw an 80-yard touchdown pass on a trick play, literally, and he ran it. Ethan Ford or Seth Armana running in for 80 yards out and put the Bulldogs up 6-0. And then Ethan Fox came in and kicked the ball right between the uprights, and the Beer Dogs led 7-0. And after that, really, it was a defensive battle. Both teams not able to find the end zone after that. So it's been a real struggle for the Wildcats. We got the ball all the way down one time to the 21-yard line. Then we had a holding penalty. Kind of took the air out of us. And then we fumbled the ball, and they recovered it. But Oak Ridge held them. They're playing good defense now that they've really settled down after that first play. But, we've got to make some offensive plays. That's all there is to it. The line's doing a little better job blocking, but we're still not getting big runs. Kendall Jackson doing all he can, and our running backs are tough. We just not having any luck. But Bearden's really playing tough right now. They want this game as bad as we do. They lost a heartbreaker last week to West, 2-24, so they're really wanting this game as bad as we are. And they're 6A. They're a bigger team. They got a lot more players than we do, but that's no excuse. We need to win this ball game, and hopefully we can come out in the second half and play a whole lot better, because I'll tell you, life's not going to get a whole lot easier, James, from here on out for the Wildcats.
Absolutely, Mike, and I think you have the schedule there for us. Just to go over some of the records after you get done of the Wildcats and head coach Joe Gaddis versus the teams you're mentioning.
Okay, thank you. Next week, the Clinton Dragons will be coming here to the Wildcats, and they've got a really fine quarterback. Their coach's son is the quarterback over there. He's playing a lot better. They won their game last week, and they're playing again tonight, and they're going to be tough. They're not going to be an easy game like they have been in the last few years. So life doesn't get a whole lot easier for the Wildcats. And then the week after that, we go to Farragut, and that's always a tough place to play. The Admirals they give us fit. That'll be a great game. And then, after that, we go to Lenore City, and Lenore City is really improved this year. They're playing Loudon tonight. I'll be anxious to see how that turns out.
And back in our region from a couple of years ago when they were also in our region.
I was going to say that. Thank you, James. That's a regional game against the Lenore City Panthers. And then, of course, I think probably the marquee game of the year for us is when Powell comes here. I mean, that game last night against Maryville and Powell was a classic. I mean, Maryville, everybody knows how good Maryville is. They don't get to be the number 2 team in the state in Class 6A for nothing. And they came back. Actually, Powell was ahead at the half, and they come roaring back and scored 35 unanswered points, ended up winning that game, I think, 51 or 52-31. It was an outstanding game. That was on television last night. So Powell's going to be a tough game. And then, boy, the week after that, we got a 3-hour and 20-minute ride up to Greenville when we play the Green Devils up there, and they are really good this year. So it's just going to be a great season is all I know.
They had a shootout with Central last week.
Yes, they did, and Greenville ended up winning it too. And then we play at Carnes, and of course the Beavers, I don't know what's wrong with them. They're struggling, but they're always up for the Wildcats. You got to give them credit. They give us a fit, and we're over there this year. And then, boy, one of my favorite teams in the whole state comes here to Blankenship Field, Dobbins Bending Indians. Will be a great game. I encourage everybody to come watch that Dobbins-Bennett game. It will be close. It will be highly contested. Two great coaches, good friends going against each other. And, of course, we finished out the season with the Campbell County Cougars. And, they're better this year. So this schedule is totally awesome as far as I'm concerned.
Thank you, Mike, for that. We appreciate you being here with us and helping us with that. Mark Haste coming in with the stats right now. Just in time, Mark Haste, to give us a rundown of the totals in the first half.
Thank you very much, James. Leading rusher for the Wildcats, Kendall Jackson, he has 56 yards on 11 carries. Jacob Bearden had a nice fake punt. He gained 34 yards on that carry. Hayden Tarwater has 5 carries for 11 yards. Jai Hunley has 10 yards on 3 carries. And Javovis Dozier has 2 carries, netting 1 yard. So as a team, the Wildcats in the first half have rushed the ball 22 times for a total of 112 yards. That's an average of 5.1 yards per carry. Now looking at the Wildcats through the air. Quarterback Hayden Tarwater, he's 8 of 13 for 26 yards tonight. His long is 10 yards. That long pass was to Brandon Hayward, who has 4 receptions on the night with 18 yards total. Dozier has a 4-yard reception, and Jay Hunley has 3 receptions totaling 4 yards. So as a team, the Wildcats, as I said, on the ground, they have 112 yards on 22 carries. They have 26 yards through the air on 8 receptions for a total offense tonight of 138 yards. Oak Ridge has been penalized 5 times for 41 yards and has 8 first downs in the first half. Now looking at Bearden, they're led on the ground by Nico Young. He has 24 yards on 3 carries. His long tonight is 21 yards. Seth Arana has 4 carries, totaling 5 yards, and Drew Parrott has 2 carries, totaling 4 yards. So as a team, the Bearden Bulldogs have rushed the ball 9 times, totaling 33 yards on the ground. Passing for the Bearden Bulldogs, this is an unusual stat. They have just as many people who have thrown the ball who have caught the ball tonight. Number 1 in yards is Seth Arana. He opened up the game with an 80-yard touchdown pass. Let's see, John Harrison has 2 completions on 3 attempts for 8 yards. And then Drew Parrott, the quarterback we've seen most recently, he's 0 of 5. Receiving for the Bulldogs, as I said, they opened up with an 80-yard pass. That was caught by Sam Tummins. He has 80 yards on 1 reception. Seth Arana has a 5-yard reception, and Max Geisick has a 3-yard reception. So as a team, the Bearden Bulldogs have 9 carries, totaling 33 yards on the ground. They have 88 yards through the air on 3 receptions for a total offense of 121 yards. Bearden Bulldogs have been penalized 2 times for 20 yards, and they have 2 first downs in the ballgame. The interesting thing is if you take the 80 yards away from the Bearden Bulldogs, they've only got 41 yards in the first half and only 2 first downs. So Oak Ridge defense, other than the first play, playing well tonight. But unfortunately, the offense is not quite clicking. James?
Mark, that's a great point there. As the Wildcats, after that first play, like you said, have been able to basically stifle the Bearden offense. We appreciate Mark and Mike for their stats and all that they do for us. Again, let's just go ahead and get our camera guys in there one more time. Alex Waraxa, Lee Wexler, Neil Patel, Christian Rosas Rodriguez, and Matthew Charles. We appreciate them and all that they do for us. Once again, you're listening to Wildcat Football here on FM 92.7 as well as Oak Ridge Channels 15 and prepradio.com. We have about 8 minutes left here in halftime as the Wildcat Band is on the field. The Bulldog Band just got finished up, and so we'll take about another 3-minute timeout as the Wildcats are finishing up their talk and probably going to head down for stretches here soon. So we'll be back shortly after this 3-minute timeout. Oak Ridge trailing Bearden 7-0. James Branson, joined by Eli Manning and our executive producer, David Clary, here at halftime. About 5 minutes left on the clock. Eli, I believe you got a little bit of important information here right as we went to halftime about Truett Tech's.
Yeah, so unfortunately, Truett Tech's got beat up a little, or got injured a little bit there. They had to take him off the field, but injury news on the good side is he's going to be okay. I don't think he's going to be back this game, but luckily it's nothing too major.
Maybe something like we're speculating here, but maybe a high ankle sprain or nothing too, keep him out too long.
Yeah, nothing that he needs to, have surgery or anything crazy.
So I don't know if you heard Mark at halftime, Eli, but 81 yards of total offense for the Bulldogs on the first play, and then only about 40 after that. So the Wildcat defense stepping up here in the first half.
Hey, it's like you said, they caught us by surprise on that first play, and then luckily the defense has stepped up and shut them down. I mean, they haven't been able to do much of anything other than, get a few first downs on penalties, and that's about it.
So, you coach at one of the middle schools here in Oak Ridge, Robertsville, and your offensive kind of play mind. So Wildcats have been able to move the ball, haven't quite been able to finish. A couple penalties here and there have cost them. What kind of adjustments do you think about making here after halftime?
So, the first thing is you got to stop making mistakes. And it seems like every time we get down close to the goal or to the touchdowns, we do something to push us back just enough to get out of, either field goal range or, come up short on a fourth down. And so we got to stop making those mental mistakes and just buckle down a little bit. The second thing I think we got to do is start spreading the ball around a little bit. You've got all these weapons, and it seems like we're going to maybe three guys. You got Brandon, you got Kendall, you got Hunley, and then, Dozier here and there. But honestly, you've got so many fast people on this team. You start spreading around, make that defense not know what you're going to do, and then you can start having a little bit of fun with them.
And, Coach Gaddis talked about in the pregame how this team likes to blitz and come from different angles and things like that. Maybe the Wildcats would be able to take advantage of the blitzes by using motion or trying to get the Bearden defense out of position to take advantage of that.
Oh, definitely. And even just maybe even like a simple little audible or something like that. You identify that blitz, try to get a receiver to go where that guy was and then take advantage of it, and that'll slow him down. Or maybe even you saw it on the first play, but unfortunately we just didn't do anything with it. Hit a nice screen where you get the lineman, let them come upfield, and you get the lineman to go downfield and take advantage of that. That'll slow them down as well.
Well, we appreciate that, Eli, as the Wildcats have not made their way down the field just yet. Do want to go over some of the history of the Bulldogs and the Wildcats. The series started in 1968, long before you or I were ever even thought of, Eli, when the series began.
Oh, man.
But the last meeting, just before we became Wildcats at the high school, last meeting was 2000, and one of those in 1999, the win was an overtime win on a 2-point conversion, I believe by Jacob Snyder in this north end zone. So pretty good game, pretty good series back and forth between the Wildcats and the Bulldogs.
Oh, man, I bet that was a heck of a game to be a part of. You love those kind of nail biters. It might give you a heart attack, but it's always fun when you come out on top and celebrate a little bit.
Well, and it's kind of weird, as close as Bearden is to the Wildcats, that we haven't played in 20 years. And, maybe it's scheduling, maybe it's this or that, but it'd be kind of cool to see a series go back and forth here, because I believe somebody said, they're only 30 minutes away.
Oh, yeah, and they brought a pretty good little crowd with them. Somebody said they brought a couple of tour buses full of students and everything over here, so you love to see that. And again, like you said, it's close, and if they're going to play us close like this, maybe we don't want to keep playing them, but it makes for a good series here.
Well, and one thing that's good about this is it's a 6A team.
Yeah.
The Wildcats are playing a 6A team, so it's going to get good experience, hopefully going toward the playoff. Well, we will take our final 2-minute timeout here at halftime as the Wildcats are coming back onto the field to warm up. Bearden will be leading 7-0 when we resume play, but the Wildcats will be receiving the opening second half kickoff. So we'll be back after this 2-minute timeout. James Branson back here at Blankenship Field, joined by our executive producer, David Clary, as well as Eli Manning, Mark and Shauna Haste. Our camera personnel tonight are Lee Wexler, Alex Waraxa, Neil Patel, as well as Matthew Charles, and Christian Rosas Rodriguez are on the camera tonight for us. Wildcats going to receive the opening second half kickoff, 40 seconds left here at halftime. And want to thank you for listening to us tonight on FM 92.7, Oak Ridge Schools Channel 15, as well as prepradio.com. Hopefully, we'll be able to broadcast, maybe even live stream a few games outside of Oak Ridge when the Wildcats travel on the road for us this year. Eli, second half is about to kick off here for the Wildcats. Do you expect Bearden to maybe come out and do a little trickery? They started the first half with it. Do you maybe onside or pop-up kick here?
Hey, I mean, I wouldn't put them past them. There's nothing better to just kill any type of confidence you had coming out of half than to get the ball when you're expecting the ball and to just take it right away from you. So if I was that kickoff return right now, I'd tell my front line, hey, make sure they kick it deep right now.
It's a great point here. And, you know, Mike made a great point at halftime. He said, you've got two 0-1 teams here battling not to go 0-2 just to get that first win. You never know what that first win could set in motion for the rest of the season.
Definitely. I mean, you never want to start 0-1, definitely not 0-2, because you could just see it start snowballing. You got players start getting dejected. And as Mike was saying, it only gets tougher from here on out.
Eli, would you like to give a shout out to your family for listening in right now?
Hey, I'd like to give a shout out to my wife, my boy and my girl, Jameson and Willa Kate, and also my family, Eliza, and all of them as well.
Second half kickoff goes into the end zone for the Bearden Bulldogs. No return for the Wildcats, so they will get it 1st and 10 at the Bearden 20. I also would like to give a shout out. My wife and kids are listening at home. Hello to Ashley, Emmett, and Avery. Thank you guys for tuning us in, as well as all of Wildcat Nation. Whether you're following us on Twitter or listening to us on any form of media, we really appreciate you guys tuning in to us tonight.
Oh, yeah, y'all always cheered us on when we were here. We love being a part of Wildcat Nation.
Wildcats come out what looks like two-back formation. No, I'm incorrect. Hundley is going to motion to a slot now. So Kendall Jackson in the backfield for the Wildcats to the left of Hayden Tarwater, two receivers each side, stacked on top of one another. Brandon Hayward comes in motion, gets the ball, fumbles the ball, picks it right back up off the bounce, and loses, unfortunately, what looks to be about 3 or 4 yards. But fortunate for the Wildcats that it basically just popped right back up to Brandon.
I mean, that's your typical fly play. Brandon goes in motion, and that play is all about timing. And so you're wanting to hike it right before he gets to you, so it's a clean handoff. But unfortunately, it was a little mishandled there, and it brought us back a little bit.
Wildcats now in 2nd and 12. Two running backs in the backfield on each side of Hayden Tarwater. Handoff goes to Jackson. Jackson makes a move, gets outside, cuts back inside, gets up to the 22-yard line, and now it's going to be 3rd and 8, and it looks like the Wildcats might have to either do something deeper or maybe a screenplay.
I mean, it's like we said, they're playing the line hard. They're playing up the middle. You got to do something to spread the ball out a little bit. Stop letting them concentrate right in the middle.
Absolutely right. As Kendall has made some moves up the middle, but it's been hard going. Probably about 60 yards rushing for Kendall so far. It's going to be 3rd and 8. 10:45 left in the third quarter. Kendall on the right of Hayden Tarwater. Hayward in motion, goes back behind once again. Tarwater looks to go deep. He does go deep. Jaden Williams wide open, makes the catch at the 43 and goes out of bounds. Jaden Williams, the speedster, perfectly thrown pass there by Hayden Tarwater.
I love it. That was a beautiful play design. You put Brandon Hayward in motion, and you used him as a decoy. The whole defense shifted up to come to him, and that left Jaden one-on-one, and he just burned that cornerback.
Just what you talked about, using motion, using some of your best players to get other people open. 1st and 10, 10 bank first down. Wildcats get the ball. Handoff back to Kendall right up the middle, maybe a yard on the gain, but it's going to be second and long, and looks like Kendall's down probably a cramp from what we see right here.
I would think that's a cramp right there. He's been going both ways and not playing last week. Yep, his leg is straight. It is cramping. That is a terrible feeling, I know from experience.
Trainer for the Wildcats, Brian Leffler, not having too much duties tonight, as he only 2, as he comes back off the field with Kendall in a cramp. So not too long of a timeout here for the Wildcats. Going to be second and 10. 10:01 left in the third quarter. Wildcats needed that play, though.
They did. That was a huge play because you do not want to go 3 and out. And now you flip the field a little bit, and now you can maybe make something happen again.
And that is almost a momentum-changing play as Hundley comes in for the Wildcats. He's on the right side of Tarwater. 2 receivers each side. And it looks like Tarwater's going to maybe roll out. Throws the ball deep to Hayward and just off the fingertips. Tarwater making a play, throwing on the run. Did a great job just to get it to Brandon out in space.
Hey, I mean, Brandon was streaking, had the guy beat, but unfortunately there was pressure up the middle with Bearden sending a few extra guys that flushed Tarwater out, and he couldn't set his feet, so he was just kind of running out and couldn't make a good throw.
Big third down here once again for the Wildcats. 3 receivers to Tarwater's left, heading toward Jackson Square. 9:33 left in the third quarter. Hundley to Tarwater's right. 3rd and 10. Takes the snap. Tarwater has plenty of time. Dances now back deep. Throws across the middle to Price Davis. Price Davis down to the 10-yard line or 30-yard line. Across the 30 for a first down. Really nice job by Hayden to buy time to allow Price to go across the middle.
Oh, yeah, he was getting shifty feet in there. He was moving around the pocket because they were coming for him, and he spotted him right at the last second, threw it right to him, just enough for a first down. Beautiful play.
10 Bank of Oak Ridge first down. Oak Ridge back to the line quick. 2 receivers each side. Hundley to the left. Harwater takes the snap, throws a middle screen to Hundley. Hundley right there across the middle up to the 20-yard line. And you see the speed that Hundley has, just got tripped up. Going to be second and short.
Oh, yeah. Hundley just sat right in that linebacker where they were blitzing and just waited. Harwater kind of baited him a little bit, was backing up, got him upfield, and then just slung it right out there. And there was nobody near him.
Second and short once again. 8:40 left in the third quarter. Tarwater down by 7, leaving the Wildcats on a drive. Hand off to Hundley. Woo! Hundley's got room, showing the speed. Breaks to the outside. Keeps going back into the outside. Across the 5-yard line, down to the 3. This is the drive the Wildcats needed.
I tell you what, that's some good moves right there, James. Oh, man, he made about 3 people miss just duking, driving right in there. I love it.
Juking and jiving all the way down to, they give him the 1-yard line. So first and goal for the Wildcats from the 1. 8:17 left in the third quarter. Need to finish off the drive, do the Wildcats. Hayden Tarwater signaling what he wants. Takes the snap, handoff. No, he keeps it around the end. Untouched into the end zone. Touchdown Wildcats. Hayden Tarwater capping off an amazing drive for the Wildcats.
Bro, he faked me out. I was like, oh, man, they're going to do a dive. And they stopped him. Next thing I know, Jason said he's touching. I'm like, what? What just happened? Great read. Great drive. Now we're cooking right here, baby.
Exactly what the Wildcats needed coming out of halftime. Score comes with 8:02 left in the third quarter. The extra point could tie it up. Brennan Pearson on the kick. Kick is up, and it's good. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a tie ball game at Blankenship Field. 7-7. Bearden, Oak Ridge. We will be back after the 60-second timeout. James Branson back here at Blankenship Field with the opening, or with the kickoff here in the second half. Brendan Pearson's kick goes into the end zone, so the Bulldogs will start on the 20-yard line. What a drive by the Wildcats, overcoming several long distances to pick up key yardage and get that score.
Oh, yeah, it didn't look good at the start, but credit to Tarwater with a beautiful pass to Jaden Williams to kick things off, and that is exactly what the Wildcats needed. Now you got the crowd into it, the student section, they're lifting weights down there, and it's exciting again.
Wildcat defense back on the field. Bearden, 1st and 10 on the 20, 8:02 in the third quarter. Bearden takes the snap. Quarterback keeps out of the backfield. He has the 25, out to the 30, steps over. I'm sorry, I said it a little too soon. Probably got to the 29. I believe they mark him out at the 28. So not a first down, but that's number 5 for them. Parrott on a nice carry.
Hey, that was a simple read for the QB. He's watching the end, and unfortunately, I think that was Grayson Hope. He was right there, but the QB just got right out of his grasp and was able to get by him.
Bearden has it 2nd and 2, 7:55 left in the third quarter. Handoff goes to the running back, stuffed in the backfield, doesn't get to the 30. It's going to be 3rd and short as we have a few not fisticuffs, but a little pushing and shoving going on here. Tension is very high for the Wildcats and the Bulldogs.
Hey, it's exciting right now. You got the big uglies going at it. And again, those two big guys in the middle, I ain't want to mess with them. There was some big boys right there, and they weren't getting pushed around, I tell you what.
3rd and 1 for the Wildcat defense. Need a stop. Tie game, 7-7. 7:20 left in the third quarter. Bearden, 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Handoff, met in the backfield, but I believe he's able to get across the line of scrimmage. It was a nice effort, but when you have those short yardage and a running back like number 1 for them, Arana, he's got a little bit of a steam going forward.
Yeah, I think that was Bearden that stood him up, and he put a good little pop on him, but unfortunately, the running back was able to just do a little spin and get a little momentum to get that first down.
I see Austin Hill in for the Wildcats on defense, number 31. 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs, 6:50 left in the third quarter. Bearden wants to pass, throws a slant route, and it looks like number 22 for the Bulldogs, that is Meacham, wasn't even ready to catch the pass.
I think that was like a simple little RPO. He was reading the outside, and the 22, he had some space, but like you said, James, he was surprised, and the ball just went right by him.
The defense for the Wildcats, 2nd and long. Good scenario for your defense. 6:48. Tie ball game once again between the Bulldogs and the Wildcats. Bearden comes out. A slot in tight, 2 receivers to the right. Takes the snap, wants to pass. Under some pressure, he's sacked in the backfield. Sacked by the Burv man.
Yes, sir. I love it. We sent both linebackers up to him. We got more guys than they had, and they went right back there and got him.
He looked like he might have some time, but that throw had to be out quick, and it ended up he didn't have any time. Going to be 3rd and 16 for the Wildcats. 6:20 left in the third. Big stop here if you can get a change of possession for the Wildcats. Wildcats pack the line of scrimmage. 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Takes his drop back. Pass is too high, but incomplete. I thought it was going to be picked off by Brandon Hayward for a minute.
Oh, yeah, you had Wildcats all around him. I don't know if there was a mix-up in the routes or what, but you had 2 Bearden Bulldog wide receivers in the same area. And, again, the pass was high. We had some pressure coming at him, and good job by the defense to get that big stop, and now the offense gets the ball back, and hopefully we can get ahead in this game.
See a couple of subs coming in on this punt. Junior Adams now in for the Wildcats. Brandon Hayward back deep. Punting for the Bulldogs. I can't exactly see his number right now, but 6:06 left on the clock. 4th and long. And it's nearly blocked. It is blocked. Blocked out of the end zone by Hundley. It's going to be a safety for the Wildcats. And all of the momentum is on the side of the Wildcats at this point. And the Wildcats, without doing much of anything but playing great defense, get 2 points on the board.
Yes, sir. I love it. I love seeing a good special teams play right there. You just shifted the whole momentum. This crowd is going wild. I love it.
And not only do you get 2 points on the board, as I don't know what the officials are talking about because it clearly went out of the back of the end zone. There was no potential to recover. But with a safety, they are going to have to kick off. Bearden should have to kick off from the 20. And they're still discussing. I'm not sure what they're discussing. It goes out of the back of the end zone. Nobody touched it.
I think they're going out. I don't know what they were discussing.
Either way, the conclusion of the meeting apparently is exactly what we said.
Sometimes the umps just got to talk to each other, I guess. I don't know.
So with just under 6 minutes on the clock, the Wildcats now lead 9-7 over the Bulldogs. And we will take a brief 30-second timeout. James Branson joined by Eli Manning here back at Blankenship Field after a safety. Thank you for tuning in to us on the radio, FM 92.7, Oak Ridge Schools Channel 15, and prepradio.com. We'd like to also thank Mark and Shauna Hayes and all of our camera personnel tonight. Eli, the Bulldogs are going to be kicking off from the 20. Not only is it a huge momentum change, but it's also a huge change in field possession.
Oh, yeah. Here's how you know you're doing a good job. When you hear your student section talking smack to the other team's student section, you know you're doing all right.
The kick's going to be taken by Hunley, the guy that blocked the punt there, and he gets out close to the 41. So the kick last week, the Wildcats had to kick off deep because of a penalty, and it went through the end zone. In this scenario, the Wildcats are the recipients of a deep kick, and they get the ball out to the 42-yard line of Bearden. So great field position to start this drive.
Again, last thing Bearden would want right now is to give the ball back to a red-hot Oak Ridge offense with great field position. So let's capitalize it right here.
Andrew Ferreira in for the Wildcats now coming out. I believe Brandon Hayward is in. Tarwater takes the snap, hands off. I believe that is Hunley. Maybe gets back to the line of scrimmage. I also see Ethan Hewitt in for the Wildcats. Xavier James as well as I can't tell the receiver on the other side, but it will be 2nd and 10 for the Wildcats. 5:34 left in the third quarter. Wildcats now lead 9-7. Wildcats making a couple of substitutions as Kendall Jackson comes out of the ball game, cramping a little bit. And Hunley goes into the backfield. Two receivers stacked on top of each other. Tarwater takes the snap. Does a nice job by Hunley getting the block, and the Bulldogs just blitz. Hunley did all he could to take on a block, and Tarwater had to get rid of it at Brandon Hayward's feet.
I mean, they're blitzing off of it. Credit to Hunley. He did everything he could, but I think that guy outweighs him by a good 50 pounds. That was a heck of a hit that he just took.
The Wildcats now in a 3rd and long situation, able to overcome those on the previous drive for the Wildcat offense.
We've been overcoming them this quarter, but you don't like putting your offense this far back and have to come up with a big play.
The Wildcat receivers trying to signal that they can't exactly see the play. I believe Jakyron Pendergrass is in on the play. The play clock down inside of 10 seconds. The Wildcats have it with just over 5 minutes on the clock. 3rd and 10. Tarwater takes the snap. Able to have a lot of time. Rolls out of the pocket and ends up getting sacked back at the 30-yard line. So it's going to be 4th. And I heard this the other night, 4th and Big Ed's Pizza for the Wildcats. But they have 2 good punters. They can get it back deep. One right, one left-footed. And so you're not sure who's going to get this punt here for the Wildcats.
Unfortunately, that offensive line has to shore up those blitzes and find a way to stop them.
Bearden and Kelly back to receive the punt. or the snap of the punt. Bearden ends up taking it, quick kick, nice high punt, gets across midfield. The bounce goes laterally, so it's going to be down at about the 35, 36 yard line of the Wildcats, and it's going to be a change of possession here with 4:15 on the clock. So, with all of that being said, blocked punt for a safety. Wildcats come back out on offense. You probably net about 5 yards there if you're the Bearden offense if you come back out, minus 2 points.
I mean, hey, the good news is we're up now, and you've got a defense that has not given up anything other than that first play. And so again, we're kind of got the upper hand right now, and we should be able to keep this up.
Parrott back in at quarterback for the Bulldogs. Arana in at running back. 2 receivers to the quarterback's left. He takes the snap. His running back's hitting the backfield. Keeps the legs churning. Ball comes out. The Wildcats have it. It's going to be a defensive lineman. I believe that is number 71 for the Wildcats. And that is Sydney Stokes, but I could be wrong. I believe it's number 70. Zach Snyder falls on that for the Wildcats. Nice job, Johnny, on the spot as he's able to recover the fumble. Quick change of possession for the Wildcats.
Hey, the one thing you got to watch as a running back when you're fighting for those yards, as their running back was, is somebody's going to come in there and just strip it out, and that's exactly what the Wildcats do. Took the ball back, get us back on offense.
Wildcat offense in great position at the 42-yard line of the Bulldogs, headed toward Jackson Square. 4:07 left in the third quarter. Wildcats trying to get the play in. 10 seconds on the play clock. 2 receivers to the left, 2 running backs in the backfield for the Wildcats. Tarwater, 3 seconds on the play clock. Snaps it at 1. Tarwater rolls to his right, backtracks, picks up a block from Hunley, throws across the middle of the field, nearly picked off, and it is. Trying to go back to Price Davis. A return for the Bulldogs goes back out to the 36-yard line. So I have it, you have it. You have it, I have it. Back and forth we go. Back and forth we go all around the 35-yard line.
Unfortunately for the Wildcats, their defensive end just beat our right tackle right up the field the way we were rolling out. So Tarwater had to switch sides, and then he saw one of our receivers right at the last second, but he had to throw across his body because he ended up going the other way, and that's just never what you want to do as a QB.
Not what you want to do, throwing across your body, but they hit Price on that before, and I think that's what Tarwater thought he could do once again. Bearden comes out, quick snap. Parrott has it, hands it back off to the running back, gets probably about 4 with 3:48 left in the third quarter. Bearden is trailing 9-7.
The one thing you got to worry about right now is getting those emotions and everything. With all this excitement going on, you got to make sure you settle down and focus on your responsibilities here.
A lot of the Wildcats playing both sides of the field. I see Hunley and Hewitt out there as well. 2nd and 6. Takes the handoff. Quarterback keeps it. Rolls out. In great position is Hunley. Slings him out of bounds. And the Wildcat defense gets a 3rd and 4 for attempted conversion here for the Bulldogs.
Hey, all of a sudden that QB he rolled out and he was like, hey man, I got daylight. And then all of a sudden Hunley just closes on him and stops him dead in the track.
Coming back in for the Wildcats is Price Davis. Nope. Yes, he is. Just throwing something off to the sideline. I'm sorry, it was a loss of 2. So Bearden, 3rd and about 6. Rolling to the right. Parrott has it. Trying to feel the pressure. Gets it out. And it is, they're going to say complete.
Nope, no sir.
Or incomplete. I'm sorry, I couldn't see. I was looking at the far receiver. So it's going to be incomplete. Nice defense there for the Wildcats. I believe that may have been Justin Crowley closing on that. So on comes the Bearden punt team with 3:12 left in the third quarter.
Yeah, good job. I think it was number 2, I think that's who that was. And I apologize. Hey, that was Star. Hey, he closed in on him. He made the QB make a decision as fast as he could and couldn't get his feet set. Forced not a great throw. And luckily the defense came up with a big stop after a turnover.
Wildcat football here on 92.7 FM, prepradio.com, and Oak Ridge Schools Channel 15. Bearden punts. They're able to get it away. Not too much pressure. Hayward receives the punt, takes off at the 30, to the 35, to the 40. Steps out of bounds at the 42-yard line. So not too bad position once again for the Wildcats, as there's no penalties, so that's one good thing that happened on the return.
Man, that's one thing about Brandon Hayward. He's just smooth, man. Like, he kind of bobbled it a little bit, but he just kept running. Then all of a sudden, he just had guys just falling off of him. They couldn't get any kind of grasp on him, and he was able to get a good little pickup there.
Thank you to David Clary here telling us that the Wildcats had a Drew Parrott play for us in 1986. Drew Parrott apparently is also the quarterback for Bearden tonight, so he's got a lot of eligibility.
Hey, I mean, good Lord, I'm glad he can still play the position. I can't even walk.
The Wildcats take the snap, hand off to Jay Williams coming around the end, gets maybe about a yard as the Wildcats have a 10 bank of Oak Ridge first down on that play. That's going to be a gain of about a yard for Jay Williams. So it's going to be 2nd and 9 for the Wildcats, 2:42 left in the third quarter.
I mean, simple fly motion there. And one of the things we always teach our kids, when you see a hole, you make a cut and get up there. Unfortunately for Jay, that first cut, there were about 2 guys just waiting on him.
And the Bearden defense really is flowing well tonight. They put about 3 to 4 at the line to start, and then they start blitzing. Tarwater takes the snap, looks to his left, nearly picked off as it went through the hands of Andrew Ferreira. Wildcats very lucky on that play right there.
I mean, you had a simple out pattern there. Kind of stared him down a little bit. I think that cornerback was able to kind of take off his route, and a bad throw. It's just way a little too far outside on him.
Maybe a little bit of luck there for the Wildcats as Andrew Ferreira maybe missed that, so he doesn't get lit up right there, just a few yards short of the sticks. So it's going to be 3rd and 9 for the Wildcats, 2:17 left in the third quarter. Wildcats leading 9-7 in a very intense game. Tarwater, 3 receivers to his right, 1 to his left, takes the snap, thinks about rolling, looks for a screen and throws it to Brandon Hayward. Brandon Hayward at midfield, cuts back inside just across the 45-yard line. It looks like it's going to be a 4th and 5 as Hayden Tarwater's picking himself up off the field. And the Wildcats are going to punt once again, 4th and 5 with just under 2 minutes in the third.
I mean, the Bulldogs just teed off on that play. They were coming from every direction. How Tarwater got that off, I don't know, because he got drilled on that play. He was a little slow getting up on it.
Bearden and Kelly back deep looking for the signal from the special teams coordinator here for the Wildcats. Play clock down under 10 seconds. Bearden the right-footed, Kelly the left-footed punter. Possibly a fake here. But snap to Bearden. Bearden gets the kick away very quick. Nice spiraling kick down inside the 10. If it'll slow up, but it does not as it goes into the end zone, as the Bulldogs will take over possession at the 20-yard line with 1:17 left in the third quarter, trailing by 2.
Luckily, unfortunately our offense is sputtering a little bit. We can't find that magic we had on the first drive. But luckily for the Oak Ridge, the defense is playing lights out, and us being up, we don't have to worry too much more. You'd like to get a little bit of a cushion, but again, this defense, they're not budging right now, and hopefully they can keep this going.
The linebacking crew for the Wildcats, Bearden, Kelly. Also in there near that is Davis and Sharp. Quarterback for Bearden takes snap. Parrott rolls to his right, throws it out to the left, and it looks like it's going to be completed. Jaden Williams on the tackle there, so 2nd and 4 for the Bulldogs, just under a minute left in the third quarter.
Man, I don't know how he caught that. I'm amazed he came up with it. There was tight coverage on him. There wasn't much room to work with, but somehow he came up with that and got a little 6-yard gain.
2 receivers to the left of Parrott for the Bulldogs. 1 in the backfield. That is Arana. Also 2 to his right now. Under 40 seconds, takes the snap, fakes it, throws a screen pass out to his right, able to get up to the first down and hit out of bounds as a helmet comes flying off of a Bulldog, and looks like Bearden will pick up the first down.
That was a big hit right there. Oh, man, that was right on the sideline. Helmets are flying. We're hitting right now, but unfortunately they were able to get the first down on just a simple little fake up the middle, then a screen pass out left.
Stops the clock at 32 seconds for the Bulldogs. They get a couple substitutions in. Wildcats get some in. Justin Crowley on the field. Brandon Hayward on the field. Jaden Williams on the field. Ja Hunley comes in for the Wildcats. 3 receivers to Parrott's left. Parrott takes a snap, option play, gets it out to the running back, Arana, and has no place to Arana and goes down for a 1-yard gain.
Hey, I mean, that's just a simple speed option right there. Luckily for us, this defense is scaring number 5, their quarterback. He wants nothing to do with the ball. He's trying to get rid of it as fast as he can. On an option, you want that QB to take the hit and take out a defender, but he's getting rid of it so quick that the defense is just able to close on it.
That was to the side of number 31 for the Wildcats. That is Austin Hill, as we have a timeout on the field. We will take that timeout with them because it is the end of the quarter. Wildcats leading 9-7. We will be back after this 60-second timeout. James Branson joined back at Blankenship Field as the Bulldogs go quickly after the quarter. Screen pass out to number 3 for the Bulldogs. Makes a man miss, but not able to get to the first down as the Wildcat defense stiffens up and forces a 4th and 2.
So that's just a simple little play action pass. I think they're reading it a little bit, and they just did the same thing they did on the last one. And I think it's actually 3rd down, James. So again, 3rd and 2. So we need to get a good stop here.
You're right. I was incorrect on the down and distance there. So thank you for that, Eli. That was Tummons on the catch. Bearden comes to the line, fakes a snap. Parrott, 2 receivers each side, now motions his back to his right. Takes the snap, does Parrott. Rolls out, is going to get to 2 yards, but then throws it downfield to a wide open receiver. At the 30, makes a man miss at the 15, at the 10, at the 5, into the end zone go the Bulldogs. That pass is complete to number 15 for the Bulldogs. Giski, I mispronounced his name before. Nice play by the Bulldogs there, and just got to hold your coverage as defense there and hope that you'd almost rather Parrott take the run there than give up a long pass.
I mean, the Wildcats, they sent the house almost. So they're blitzing. They were teeing off on it, but the unfortunate thing is if you don't get to them, you leave your backfield exposed, and that's what he was able to do. He was able to roll out and get a little bit of time, and unfortunately their running back or their wide receiver got lost there, and he was able to stumble on down to the touchdown.
Extra point for the Bulldogs is up and good. Bulldogs now lead 14-9 with 11 minutes left in the game. We will be back after the 60-second timeout. James Branson back here at Blankenship Field with the kickoff after the touchdown. I believe that is going to be taken in the end zone for a touchback there by the Wildcats. So, very interesting 13 minutes we've had here in the second half. More scoring in the second half than the entire first half.
Hey, it's been an exciting half right here. Is it third or fourth? It's fourth quarter now. Man, I can't even remember. It's so crazy going on. I mean, we're going back and forth. You got touchdowns, you got turnovers, you got big hits. It's crazy right there.
You talk about that. Wildcats getting some subs in here as Javis Dozier comes in for the Wildcats, sophomore running back, because Hunley's been going both ways. Kendall's cramping, so might be some good experience here. He is at the right. Tarwater takes the snap. Tarwater rolls out, has room to run it if he chooses to. Dodges a defender, but ends up taking probably a yard loss on the play. I think if Hayden commits to the run there, he might be able to get a few yards as opposed to losing one on that.
Yeah, unfortunately, he hesitated just a little too long. He was trying to wait as long as he could to maybe try to make a pass before he crossed the line of scrimmage, but unfortunately, he waited too long and the guy was able to close on him.
Tarwater with 3 receivers to his right. 2nd and 11. Draws the Bearden defense off sides. Really nice play there by Tarwater to fake the clap or to actually clap and then force the Bulldogs to move. Nice job by the line to hold their water too.
Hey, that's one of the things you always want to just stick it in there, just get yourself a little bit of a rest almost as an offensive lineman. When they jump off sides, it makes your day a little bit easier.
DeJavis Dozier to Tarwater's right. 10-18 left in the game here. The Wildcats trailing by 5, 14-9. Tarwater, 3 receivers to his left, 1 to his right, looks to his left, has time, then backpedals, gets out of it though, is back at his 15 now, close to the 20, and again takes a loss, and after the penalty, the Wildcats end up right where they were before, and now it's going to be a loss of down, 3rd and 11.
Man, unfortunately, they are not doing any kind of crazy blitz. It's the middle linebacker again, and even the QB saw it and slowed down the count so he couldn't jump the snap, but he was still able to get through the line, through the bag, and cause Tarwater to have to scramble out and just blow up the play.
It looks like Hayden might be hurt because he is coming off the field here. So Brian Leffler is going to give his work out again for the 3rd time tonight. We'll give him a shout out as this injury timeout is brought to you by East Tennessee Spine and Sport. If you are injured, call Donnie Sharp at 888-531-5431. 888-5431. Donnie will get you taken care of. Now, something interesting for Hayden. Hayden, just before the Wildcats came back to school, broke his arm or was recovering from a broken arm. So you would hate to see that for Hayden as Brian has him over toward the sidelines being attended to. So in at quarterback for the Wildcats comes number 2, Peyton Sharp. And Javis Dozier is in, as well as Cam Barnett at receiver, Xavier James, Brandon Hayward. Looks like he might be headed to the backfield. Nope, he is going out wide. 3rd and 11, 9:36 left in the game. 14-9, the Bulldogs lead. Peyton Sharp comes in, looks, sets his feet, runs out to his left, keeps running, gets out to the 20, and is tackled just beyond the 20-yard line at the 21. And it looks like the Wildcats will be forced to punt as it is 4th and 8.
Tough situation for the Wildcats there. You've got a new quarterback coming in, just right off the bench, and a tough situation with 3rd and long. He just tried to make something happen there, but there's just nothing there.
You're right, and it's kind of reminiscent of some of those DB games back in the early 2000s. A lot of injuries, a lot of cramping. At one point, I remember Scott McMahon playing both quarterback and linebacker. Punt comes, and Bearden is able to get it off. Gets a nice punt across the 50, continues to take a Wildcat roll inside the 30, close to the 26-yard line. So Bearden able to flip the field for the Wildcats, get the Wildcat defense back out there. You'd love to have a turnover right here.
Heck of a punt right there. That ball just kept rolling and rolling and rolling. I don't know if they were putting a little bit of magic on it or something there, but heck of a punt. Now the defense can come out and redeem themselves a little bit here, hopefully get the ball back.
And, that was kind of a busted play. You talked about the Wildcats were scored upon on the previous drive. Quarterbacks really are scrambling all over the place just to keep the play alive, and the receivers are really scrambling just to get open as well. Bearden has it at their 26-yard line, 8:36 left in the game. They lead 14-9. Handoff up the middle. They get about 6. Or about 5, excuse me. And I think that's what Bearden is okay with doing right now, running the ball, maybe trying to take some time off the clock.
Yeah, don't be surprised now. They just slow it down. They're getting to the line quick, but, just like you and I on when we're coaching, James, we'll hold our hand up to that QB, say, hey, just hang out there for a minute. Let's run some clock here and let's slow things down.
You're absolutely right, and that's exactly what they're doing. Bearden and Parrott have 2 receivers to his right on the home side. They're headed toward Jackson Square. To the left is 1 receiver. They have a slot back in tight. The running back now motions to Parrott's right. Wildcat defense creeps up. They're playing the run. They're playing the run so hard that they stop them at the line of scrimmage. It's going to be 3rd and a big 5 with 7:40 left in the game.
I don't think it's any surprise what they're going to try to do is just run the ball, try to chew as much clock as possible. So we dialed up a nice blitz right up the middle, stuffed every hole. They had nowhere to go. Nice
job there by Grayson Hope as well, playing contain. And the pursuit of the Wildcats really need to stop here. It's 3rd and 4, 7:18 left. Bearden Bulldogs snap the ball. Quarterback under pressure, rolls to his left. Need to keep him in bounds. Pass is going to be incomplete or caught. No signal has been made. They give him the catch at the 44-yard line, contested. And just a nice play by the Bearden receiver to come down with it.
I don't know whose foot he saw. I don't think it was Bearden's, but apparently he got a foot down in there, and they somehow came up with some type of catch there.
7:03 as they got out of bounds somehow. 14-9 Bearden leads. Ball at the 43-yard line of Bearden. They would love to run some clock here. Bearden takes the snap, hands off once again to Arana. Arana gets for about 3 or 4 yard gain, and Bearden's okay with doing that right now.
Hey, unfortunately, this type of game right now is playing into the Bearden Bulldogs' hands when you've got a team that doesn't expect to come in here and win, when everyone's thinking they're the underdog. The longer you let this happen, the more confidence they get.
The Wildcat defense has played tough, and they continue to play tough. 3 timeouts for the Wildcats, 6.5 minutes left, so still plenty of time left in the game for the Wildcats to do something. But Bearden is bleeding every second of the play clock. 2nd and 7. Wildcats trail by 5. Parrott takes the snap, hands off, stuffed in the backfield by the entire Wildcat line. And a nice play there by them.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Another great blitz right up the middle. More people than they could block, and we stuffed them.
Wildcats now force a 3rd and 8. Huge play here. If you're Bearden, do you keep it on the ground? Do you take a shot with your running or your quarterback rolling out and trying to get somebody open?
He's been making some magic happen by rolling out. I don't know how he keeps escaping. We're dialing up blitzes, but if you can get a first down here and eat more clock, that plays into your advantage.
Bearden has it with 5.5 minutes left. They take the snap. They want to throw it deep. The ball is there. It is incomplete, though, because number 15 for them, that is, I'm digging through the papers here, Giesek on the attempted catch. Well defended there by the Wildcats. I believe that was Hunley, and I also believe maybe Peyton Sharp in on that, Justin Crowley as well. So forcing the Bulldogs to punt, I believe, but there is a penalty.
That was Jacob Bearden. He timed the blitz up just as they were snapping, got past them to the point that their running back literally dragged him down, causing a holding penalty. So regardless of the play, that was going to be coming back. And luckily for us, it was incomplete. Now we forced the punt.
And the Wildcats decline it because it is 4th down. Brandon Hayward back deep. You'd love to see Brandon get loose on a punt return.
He's been playing with it. Hopefully he can get a little squirrely here and get out there.
5:24 left in the game. Bearden punts. The punt is away. End over end punt. Brandon is okay with letting it bounce. It bounces all the way to the 1 yard line of the Wildcats. Just an unlucky bounce there for the Wildcats because the punt, Brandon couldn't have gotten anywhere closer. It was a line drive punt, end over end. It just bounced and it just caromed all the way down inside the 2, I guess now they give it for the Wildcats.
Man, just completely unfortunate. That's something that doesn't happen very often. Heck of a bounce. Unfortunate for the Wildcats. Now we're on the 1. They got to drive 99 yards. But again, we can make something happen here. We've been able to make some stuff happen. Just take it one play at a time here and get what you can.
Peyton Sharp in for the Wildcats at quarterback. Ja Hunley, Price Davis, Andrew Ferreira, Cam Barnett, and I believe that is Brandon Hayward back on the other side at receiver. Wildcats cannot afford to go any further back. Need a positive play here to get this drive kicked off. 5:14 left in the game. Peyton Sharp takes the snap, rolls to his right, wants to throw a throwback screen, has Brandon Hayward. Brandon Hayward makes a move, gets out to the 16-yard line. Great job by the offensive line getting out and blocking for Hayward to pick up an easy first down.
Ooh, a little bit of misdirection there. Sharp rolls out to his left and then turns back and looks right, and you got Lyman out in front of Hayward blocking the way. That's the kind of play you love to see.
1st and 10 bank, first down for the Wildcats at the 17-yard line. 4:47 left in the game. 14-9, Bearden leads. Handoff goes to Hunley. Hunley cups it upfield for a 2-yard gain, and you're okay with that because you're making positive gains right now. Hunley may be a little slow as it looks like he is going to be cramping as well. So, we talked about Brian Leffler, Oak Ridge Wildcat trainer, coming out only a few times, but now he has to go back out once again. Hunley able to come off without much issue. Looks like cramps once again.
Hey, that's the unfortunate thing about these early games. You're not quite into late, full games shape yet. And so when you play a tough game like this early in the season, cramps are going to pop up.
A lot of subs in for the Wildcats. I believe number 18, Jaleel Anderson, in at running back now for the Wildcats. And receivers, same as before, 4:20 left in the game. 14-9. 2nd and 8, Peyton Sharp has it. He takes the snap, drops back, looks for a middle screen. And there's Anderson. Anderson has his first down, gets up to the 30-yard line. What poise does Jaleel Anderson have to make a catch just coming right off the bench?
Man, that's a big play right there. Again, that's another screen. You got the big nasties leading the way for you. Just follow them down. They're going to lead you to pay dirt.
Taking advantage of the Bearden Bulldogs wanting to get in the backfield. Nice poise there by Peyton Sharp so far, as he's going to have 3 receivers to his left. 10 bank of Oak Ridge, first down once again. 3:50 left on the clock. Sharp ready to take the snap, takes the snap. He looks deep, could run it, does run it, gets upfield, runs over a guy nearly, and gets out to about the 38-yard line for a 2nd and short, maybe 2 yards left.
Hey, heads up play. There was a DN closing on him, but luckily he was able to get out there and make something happen. Picks up a good little chunk right there. But James, one thing we got to start worrying about now, we only got 3 minutes and 19 seconds left, so time's starting to wind down.
You're absolutely right, but the Wildcats have 3 timeouts. Peyton Sharp still in, and it's 3 receivers to his right, moving away from Jackson Square. Peyton rolls to his right, wants to throw back to the left, does to Barnett, but it's incomplete. You don't like incomplete passes, but it stops the clock, and you're still in 3rd and 2.
Oh, yeah, you're in good position here. That was the same play, just to the opposite side that we did on the first play of this drive. Unfortunately, they kind of snipped that one out a little bit more. But like you said, James, we got 2 yards to get a first down, so you can try a little something.
Obviously try a little something. The Wildcat receivers are Hayward and Barnett, Ferreira, as well as, I believe, Price Davis. Jaleel Anderson in at running back. And the Wildcats will take a timeout, and we will take that with them. We will be back after this 60-second timeout. Wildcats trail 14-9. James Branson joined by Eli Manning here back at Blankenship Field. Wildcat offense goes 5 wide receivers. Peyton Sharp, lone in the backfield, gets the snap, goes for a first down and up to the 45-yard line. Well-designed play there. Peyton just able to basically split the defensive line with all those receivers out wide.
Hey, they went 5 wide, and so you just spread everybody out. It loosens up the middle a little bit, and he was able to just go straight ahead and get the 2 yards he needed.
2:40 left in the game. Peyton Sharp has his Wildcats at their 45-yard line, has led them 44 yards so far. 2 timeouts. 1st and 10. It's a 10 bank of Oak Ridge. First down. Peyton Sharp takes the snap, drops back, looks for Price Davis, and the ball, I believe, skipped. So Price was a little bit further away from the football there. 2nd and long for the Wildcats. Not a terrible thing, though, because it's an incomplete pass, stops the clock.
As you said, James, we stopped the clock. He had a little bit of pressure coming on his right side there. Might have hurried the throw a little bit. But again, still got time, still got some time to make some plays here.
Peyton Sharp doing a pretty good job so far for the Wildcats. Hundley now in the backfield for the Wildcats to Peyton's right, moving away from Jackson Square. Wildcats trail by 5, and I believe Bearden now calls a timeout. So each team now has 2 timeouts. We will also take this timeout with them and give a shout out to our sponsors. We will be back after this 60-second timeout.
You guys got it.
James Branson back here at Blankenship Field, joined by Eli Manning. Peyton Sharp takes the snap, goes for a screen. Ja Hundley, plenty of room to run. He cuts back to the middle. Ja Hundley has a first down across the 50 to the 35-yard line. 10 bank of Oak Ridge, first down for the Wildcats.
Hey, that's just what we've been talking about, screen. They're blitzing, they're trying to get us down, and we're literally going right past them. And good night. Hundley is quick as I've ever seen right there, man.
2:05 left in the game. Wildcats trailing by 5. Peyton Sharp at quarterback. Hundley to his left. 4 receivers out wide. Peyton fakes, thinks about, goes back across the middle, nearly caught by Price Davis. And those routes across the middle have been there, but it's very close windows for the Wildcats.
Hey, you got to be careful with those. I mean, that reminds me of Brett Favre trying to thread that needle right there. You got to be real careful with that kind of throw.
1:53 left in the game. 2nd and 10 for the Wildcats. 14-9. Bearden leads. Ja Hundley gets up close to the line of scrimmage, helping his linemen out. 2 receivers each side for the Wildcats. Now Ja back behind Peyton. Handoff goes to Hundley. Hundley pushes forward for about 1 or 2. And the Wildcats, now under 2 minutes, take a timeout here. And we will also take that timeout with them. 3rd and about 9, 14-9, Bearden leads. We will be back after this 30-second timeout. Back here at Blankenship Field on FM 92.7, Oak Ridge Schools Channel 15. and prepradio.com. Shauna Haste, along with Eli Manning, executive producer David Clary, our camera personnel Neil Patel, Lee Wexler, Alex Waraksa, Matthew Charles, and Christian Rosas Rodriguez. Wildcats in a 3rd and 9. 1:43 left on the clock. 3 receivers to Peyton's right. Peyton takes the snap, looks to his right, goes, nope, does not go across the middle, decides to pull it down and run, gets close to the 30-yard line. It will be 4th down for the Wildcats, and a minute and a half left. I think you got to go for it.
Oh, you got to go for it. Now, that's not necessarily a bad play. He was able to get some yardage here to make a more manageable 4th down. But again, huge play. This is the ball game right here. If he doesn't get it, it's game over.
Wildcats have 1:15 left in the game. Wildcats looking to get the play in. About 20 seconds on the play clock. Head coach Joe Gaddis is going to take a timeout. I believe that is the final timeout for the Wildcats. It shows one on the board, but to my count, that is the final timeout. Don't quote me on that. I could be wrong. We'll hold it right here. Eli, what do you think you might call here? It's 4th in the game, basically.
I mean, you got to get the 1st down. That's the biggest responsibility. So you tell your wide receivers, you design some type of play, maybe a little out route, a little scramble or something to get them in some space. But you tell your receivers, get to the sticks and then break your route and get open.
Wildcat offense is getting their call from the offensive coordinator, Coach Ellison. You see Hayden Tarwater in there encouraging the offense, breaking the huddle. The Wildcats have Price Davis, Jaden Williams, Brandon Hayward, Cameron Barnett, and Ja Hunley. Coming out at quarterback for the Wildcats is Peyton Sharp. They will go 3 receivers to Sharp's left. 1 receiver, that is Brandon Hayward to right. Looks like man coverage, but he's backed off. Ja Hunley now off to Peyton Sharp's right. Peyton, 4th and 6. Wildcats got to have it. Fakes. Peyton with plenty of time. Steps up in the pocket, eludes the rush, and is going to throw it deep. And there's going to be nobody there. Unfortunately, Peyton just had to get rid of it and try to throw it to somebody. And the Wildcats will have a turnover on downs. Bearden takes over, 1st down at their 30-yard line with 1 minute exactly left on the clock.
Just unfortunate circumstances there. The Sharp was looking and looking and looking, and unfortunately he couldn't find anybody, and the pocket just collapsed. And he tried to make something happen there at the end, but it's just not enough.
The Bearden Bulldogs go into the worst formation for the Wildcats at this point. That is the victory formation. And Bearden now looks like they elect to take a timeout, I guess.
Hey, I think they're just going to try to savor this a little bit right now.
Bearden takes the timeout. We will take that timeout with them with 1 minute, a 60-second timeout. We will be back. Bearden leading 14-9. Back here at Blankenship Field, Wildcat football on 92.7 FM, as well as prepradio.com, as well as Oak Ridge Schools Channel 15. Parrott in the shotgun formation for the Bulldogs, takes the snap, takes a knee on 1st down, and that puts it in 2nd and 16. A little bit of an odd formation there. I know a lot of people kind of question going from a shotgun snap to take a knee, but that's generally what we've seen out of the Bulldogs so far tonight. Clock ticking down. The Wildcats, unfortunately, cannot stop it with 20 seconds. Bearden takes 1 more knee, and that will be the end of the game. they were able to run out the clock. So Oak Ridge will fall to 0-2, 14-9. Bearden wins in a tight one. What a 13-minute period coming out of halftime.
Hey, I mean, these are the games you love to watch. Unfortunately for Oak Ridge fans, that we got on the bad end of it. But, I mean, it was a crazy game. You got stuff going on left and right. It kept it exciting. But unfortunately for Oak Ridge, we came up just a little short there at the end.
The Wildcats will take on next week. Honestly, I can't remember off the top of my head right now. But the Wildcats here, obviously not happy. But you can't blame them. They fought the whole game. They never were out of it. I think injuries and cramping was a little bit of an issue. We had a lot of different subs in. But I will say a positive spot here is you had subs in, but during the break you said Peyton Sharp comes in, 1 yard line. Not great situation at all. And leads them on a drive to put them in a situation to win the game.
Hey, I mean, like you said, James, you get people getting playing time, and this is going to pay off in the end. And, I mean, literally this game was decided for Bearden by 2 big plays. That's literally all it takes, and sometimes that's just a matter of, a couple of inches. You talk about this game being a couple of inches, and it came down to those 2 games, or those 2 plays there, and, again, we couldn't get anything going offensively.
Joining us in the booth now, the wild man, Mike Sheehan. Mike, what a start to the second half there. It was a great third quarter and kind of started the fourth quarter. And, unfortunately the Wildcats didn't come out on top, but you love to see the fight, and especially with a lot of the adversity that they faced.
Yeah, what the way this game started and then the way it ended is a big disappointment. I mean, because they scored on the very first play of the game, kind of a trick play, where quarterback Seth Owens handed off to running back Drew Parrott, who then threw a perfect strike down the field to receiver Brandon Buchanan, who hauled it in and ran it in from the 50-yard line. He was way behind the defense. 80-yard touchdown. That really put a stunner on us to start things off with. And then, of course, Ethan Ford came in and made the extra point, and Bearden led 7-0. Then the second quarter, there wasn't any scored. Everybody was just battling each other. So it was 7-0 at the half. And then in the third quarter, Oak Ridge looked like, they were coming back. They drove the ball 80 yards on the opening kickoff and tied the game up 7-7. And then with 5 minutes and 50 seconds left in the third quarter, J.L. Hunley blocked that punt, went in through the end zone. We got a safety, and we went up. Things were really looking good for the Wildcats. And then after that, it's just been a defensive battle all the way down to the bitter end. And then Seth Orange threw that 40-yard touchdown to Max Grasinski, and the Bearden Bulldogs went up 13-9. Then Ian Ford came in and kicked the extra point, and the Bearden Bulldogs led 14-9 with 2 minutes and 50 seconds left. We still had plenty of time. And then Tarwater got hurt. That was a true bummer. I don't know exactly the nature of his injury, and I'm not going to specify because I really don't know. But then Peyton Sharp came in and did a good job. Got us down the field, But Bearden just bowed up and played good defense, and the Wildcats drop another one to a very good 6A Bearden football team. We got nothing to be disappointed about. We got the Clinton Dragons coming here next week. That's going to be another whale of a game. So this is really an exciting team to watch. They're just snake bit.
You're absolutely right, Mike. And, you mentioned that the Bulldogs come out victorious. That puts a stop to Oak Ridge's 12-game win streak over the Bulldogs. That win streak dating from 1973 to 2000. So it was a nice little win streak, but the Bulldogs just able to pull one out tonight. Credit to them. The Wildcats, you got to be, very happy with their effort. They never quit. They had subs in a lot in the third quarter. They had cramping issues, and, we never stopped fighting, and that's something that you like to see.
I really like the spirit of this team. They've got it. we're going to have to get better with our line blocking, for sure. Some suspect tackling, and these trick plays are killing us.
Well, thank you, Mike, for joining us. We appreciate all that you do for us and for the broadcast. We'll take a quick 3-minute timeout as we'll wait for head coach of the Wildcats, Joe Gaddis, to make his way up to the booth. Welcome back to Blankenship Field. James Branson joined here by Mark and Shauna Hayes, Eli Manning on the color tonight, as well as Mike Sheehan helping us out tonight. Executive producer David Clary also helping us out tonight, making sure everything runs smoothly. I also like to thank our camera personnel. That would be Christian Rosas Rodriguez, Matthew Charles, Lee Wexler, Alex Waraxa, Neil Patel. I think I got everybody in on that one. I might be missing one or two. And if I did, I'm sorry. It's been an exciting night for the Wildcats.
Man, I tell you, I'm about drained right now, man. All this excitement. Well, all my adrenaline and Diet Coke's wearing off right now.
It was a very competitive game. You love to see the fight, as we've talked about all night long, for the Wildcats. Really appreciate all of our sponsors that have helped us out so far. And you can continue to listen to us all season long on 92.7 FM for Wildcat play-by-play, as well as Oak Ridge Schools Channel 15, as well as prepradio.com We appreciate everybody sticking with us. Just at the end of the day, there wasn't the Wildcats' night. Injuries, as we've said, as Mike mentioned, kind of a little bit snake bitten there at the end. Just not in the best situation, but you got to love the effort that the players came in and kept fighting tonight.
Oh, yeah, it literally came down to the last play of the game. I mean, good night. I mean, we're driving. We had to go 99 yards. We got all the way down to about the 30, and unfortunately, we just kind of sputtered out, literally fighting until there was no fight left. You had people cramping. You had people getting dragged off the field because they couldn't walk anymore. And unfortunately, we just came up a little short. And
those are the situations, if you think about, going back to your childhood, those are the situations you want to play in. Like, you think about 2 minutes on the clock, 99 yards, got to have it. Every play, in your mind, you're going through every play is going to be the play that breaks it. As head coach of the Wildcats, Joe Gaddis joins us here. Coach, I'll let you have this mic, as appreciate you joining us here tonight. And unfortunately, not on the good side of the column, but I will say, I think you got to love the fight that your guys played with, especially we've kind of talked about all night long. They had some adversity. Your starting quarterback goes out, a lot of cramping, and you still kept fighting. Nice plays by some of the main guys. Jaleel Anderson had a nice play there to come in, and, some breaks just didn't go our way tonight, unfortunately.
Well, we definitely have some fight. That's 2 weeks in a row we're talking about this, and we want more than just fight here at Oak Ridge, but these guys will fight, and that's a positive. That's a plus. There are things that we did a little better tonight. We knew their front was pretty good, especially their defensive front. They're a pretty good defensive football team. They had a pretty good plan for us, and they executed their plan pretty well. And I don't know what our stats were or anything like that, but we ran the ball a little better tonight than we did last week. Certainly not good enough. Kendall Jackson played a little, but he couldn't play much. Kendall's just not in shape. He took a couple weeks, didn't practice at all, maybe 3 weeks. I can't recall. And in this heat, it's hard to get in shape, in a game. So. It wasn't an ankle issue with Kendall, it was cramps. And same thing with Hundley, although Hundley was able to overcome it because he's in a lot better shape than Kendall because he's practiced, every day. But we did some good things, I thought, defensively. 2 plays. First play of the game and then the other play, and if you hold a team to 14, you should win. And we offensively aren't anywhere yet where we need to be. And we just have to keep working and improving.
Yeah, Coach, you mentioned the 2 plays. The first play of the game went for 80 yards. I think Mark told us at halftime the rest of the first half, your defense gave up 40-something yards after that first play. So, great effort defensively, and it seemed like we really had them figured out, minus those 2 plays.
Yeah, the first play was obviously a little trick play. We had a guy bite, and that's all it took. Classic case where 10 guys pretty much did their job, 1 guy didn't, and it cost us a touchdown. And on the other play, the biggest mistake we made there was losing containment and giving him a chance to, have a long time to throw the ball. Then I think we missed a tackle as well. But once again, defensively, we did well enough to win the ball game. Blocked a punt, got up 9-7 after we had that. I guess on our first possession in the second half, took it down and scored, which we needed to, and we did. We just couldn't muster up anything after that. So that's unfortunate.
Yeah, you mentioned your special teams. Special teams played great for the Wildcats tonight. Kicks went into the end zone. They didn't even have a chance to return it. You block a punt. You fake a punt on your first drive, something that, I'm still not sure why teams don't guard that against us, because we've shown it for 2 years in a row what we can do and how we can be able to get first downs and momentum-changing plays there.
Yeah, special teams, usually in a close game, the team that wins the special teams battle wins. Didn't happen tonight because we definitely did what we needed to do there, and you just went through it all. Our punts were pretty good as well. But, I told the team afterwards, and, I don't like having to tell them this because you don't like to be in this position, but last year we're 2-3 and we turned things around. This year we're 0-2, but we have yet to play a game that will have a bearing on the playoffs. That's coming up. Clinton will be our first region game, and this would be the most important game easily we've played this year. So we got to get ready. We got to forget this quickly, learn from these mistakes we made, and learn from the things we're not doing well. Get better, and we may have to do it. Without our starting quarterback, I thought Peyton Sharp did a good job. A guy that's played defense the whole game and coming in hadn't even warmed up as a quarterback and took us down, I guess, 50 yards or so. Almost a scoring drive and a game-winning drive. So, that's something to build some confidence from, and we'll go into the week with assuming he's going to be our quarterback.
Coach, you mentioned the Dragons coming up. Big game. Obviously, it's a rivalry game, but even bigger because they're now in our region, as you mentioned. And so kind of looking ahead, your players are going to be up for that because they also know several people that will be on the other side of the ball next week. And, little bit of a situation remembering back to last year where had a little bit of mouth talking and jawing back and forth. So a very intense game next week, and one that the players are always going to be up for.
Yeah, both teams were involved in too much of that last year, and I'm certainly going to be talking to our team about that. The game's too important to act a fool out on the field. So we've got to get ready to make some improvements, especially on the offensive side, and get ready to win our first region game at Clinton next week.
Coach, thank you for joining us, and look forward to speaking to you next week.
Thanks.
We will take a quick break here, 3-minute break, as give time for Mark to come back over and get ready with the stats. So we'll be back after this 3-minute timeout.
Mark Hayes back here at Blankenship Field, where the Wildcats fall to the Bearden Bulldogs by a final score of 14-9. Looking at the statistics for the Wildcats, they're led on the ground by Kendall Jackson. He had 60 yards on 14 carries. Jacob Bearden had a 34-yard fake punt. Also rushing for the Wildcats, Jay Hunley had 6 carries for 32 yards. Peyton Sharp came in to quarterback late in the game. He had 22 yards on 4 carries. Jaden Williams, 1 yard on 1 carry. Jarvis Dozier had 2 carries, netting 1 yard. Brandon Hayward had 1 yard, or rather 1 carry for -2 yards. And then Hayden Tarwater had 9 carries, netting -6 yards. So on the ground as a team, the Wildcats had 38 carries, totaling 142 yards on the ground. Through the air, Wildcats starting quarterback Hayden Tarwater, he was 12 of 21 for 88 yards with 1 interception. Peyton Sharp came in late for the Wildcats. He was 3 of 7 for 47 yards. So as a team, the Wildcats passing were 15 of 28 with 135 yards through the air. Receiving for the Wildcats, Jaden Williams led receivers with a 38-yard reception. Brandon Hayward had 6 receptions totaling 37 yards. Jay Hunley, 31 yards on 5 receptions. Bryce Davis had a 13-yard reception. Jaleel Anderson with a 12-yard reception. And the Jarvis Dozier had a 4-yard reception. So as a team, the Wildcats had 142 yards on the ground on 38 carries. They had 135 yards through the air on 15 receptions for a total offense tonight of 277 yards. So a very balanced attack for the Wildcats tonight. Wildcats had 15 first downs in the ball game. They were penalized 5 times for 41 yards. Now looking at the Bearden Bulldogs, they were led on the ground by Nico Young. He carried the ball 10 times, totaling 39 yards on the ground. Seth Arana had 13 yards on 6 carries. Drew Parrott, 6 yards on 5 carries. So as a team, the Bulldogs had 58 yards on the ground on 21 carries. Through the air, Bearden much more successful. They were, their most successful quarterback was Drew Parrott. He played most of the game at quarterback. He was 5 of 14 for 90 yards. Seth Arana started off the game with a 80-yard touchdown pass. Those were the yards he had. John Harrison, he was 2 of 3 for 8 yards. So as a team, the Bearden Bulldogs passing were 8 of 18 for 178 yards. Receiving for the Bulldogs, Sam Tummins led all receivers for the Bulldogs with 104 receiving yards on 4 completions. Max Geisick had 63 yards on 2 carries. He had a touchdown. Obviously Sam Tummins had the other touchdown receiving for the Bulldogs. Ethan Ford had a 6-yard reception, and Seth Arana had a 5-yard reception. So as a team on the ground, Bearden Bulldogs had 58 yards on 21 carries. They had 178 yards through the air on 8 receptions for a total offense tonight of 236 yards. They were penalized 5 times for 30 yards, and they had 5 first downs in the ballgame. I believe they had 2 in the first half, 2 in the third quarter, and 1 in the fourth quarter. So Oak Ridge overall defensively played well, but as we said at halftime, just seemed to struggle offensively. So looking at the team side by side, on the ground, Oak Ridge 142 yards on 38 carries. Bearden 58 yards on 21 carries. Through the air, Oak Ridge had 135 yards. Bearden 178. Total offense, Oak Ridge with 277 total offensive yards. Bearden 236. Oak Ridge had 15 first downs. Bearden 5. Each team was penalized 5 times. Oak Ridge with 41 penalty yards. Bearden with 30. Again, this is Mark Hayes, where Oak Ridge falls to the Bearden Bulldogs by a final score of 14-9. James?
Thank you, Mark. We appreciate you, and we appreciate Shauna for doing the stats for us. We also appreciate all of our other people that helped us out tonight. Mike Sheehan, always here supporting the Wildcats and has for a long time. Our camera personnel, Christian Rosas Rodriguez, Matthew Charles, Lee Wexler, Alex Waraxa, and Neil Patel. I also want to thank my color guy tonight, Eli Manning. And I say this all the time to annoy him, but not that Eli Manning. Eli Manning from early 2000s played here. First time, Eli, what are your thoughts about helping out?
Hey, man, I enjoyed it. It's a fun time. It was a great game to be a part of, and I'm glad you had me out here, James.
Appreciate all of our listeners, whether you were on FM 92.7 or prepradio.com, or if you were on Oak Ridge Schools Channel 15. Our next broadcast will be next Friday as we take on the Clinton Dragons once again in the Anderson County rivalry, if you can classify it as that. We've won way more than Clinton, but it's always very intense battle across the county.
Oh, yeah. I mean, when you're playing Clinton, they're going to bring everything they got. Apparently, they are taking care of business. They are 2-0 right now, and so hopefully the Wildcats can get things sorted out, get things figured out, and get ready for next week because it's going to be a big one.
I don't remember the exact score, but I heard they scored 50 on their opponent, and that's 2 weeks in a row that Clinton has scored over 40 points. So could be a high-powered offense or, a defensive stalemate. Never know what's your 52-13. 52-13. Scott Hinton, athletic director at Robertsville, just informed me. So anyways, all those people that listened and helped us out, we appreciate you. That'll conclude our broadcast for tonight. And until next week, so long, everybody.